about he will do whatever it takes. He's the most complete basketball player in the game today, bar none. He has an assassin's mentality. I said this week, I said this when the trade went down, and I'll repeat it again. Who's starving for an NBA World Championship more than Kobe Bryant? There is no one. This guy is Hollywood. Separates Kobe from the pack. More than Kobe Bryant. There is no one.
Family Room Podcast, episode 31. I'm Mike Rome.
The phone room.
It's been a tough day, man. We're going to let this one rock for a little bit, man. R.I.P. to Kobe, man.
R.I.P. the legend. The greatest. Number 824, the only player to ever get two numbers retired. Super emotional day, man.
Tough one for everybody that loves basketball. We're going to get through it together, though, man. We're going to let Lil Wayne help us a little bit.
I'm just lost for words. He's amazing.
Pass me the damn ball, I don't need to pick it out. And don't worry about my shot, cause I'ma get that out. Yeah, I dropped 40 on your double team. Then I dropped 81 on another team.
Hey.
You better guard me with caution. And watch I work them like an auction. No such thing as exhaustion. No time for rest, cause I don't take breaks.
It's only right that we started with this song today, man. And this might be the only song that's like 100%, and that was the only song that's like fully 100% dedicated to Kobe. And this was when he only had 3 rings. There ain't even really, you know what I mean, with the 5 rings in the whole career, but this is the best one in my opinion. R.I.P. to Kobe Bryant, man. We're recording this on Sunday the 26th. News broke this morning, so it's only right that we start the podcast talking about Kobe, honoring Kobe, bigging Kobe up. My brother and I are both lifelong Laker fans.
Born in.
Pops was Big Bro was born in '87. I was born in '88. My dad, my Uncle Clarence, like all our whole, not even just our uncles, our whole family is on my dad's side anyway. Everybody's Laker fans. We was born into this. You can find pictures of us as babies with Laker pajamas on. Like we've been Laker fans, man. And so obviously by the time we got to the age where we could, you know, watch and understand basketball and fall in love with basketball, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the league pretty much our whole lives, and if not our whole lives, arguably the best player. You know, at one time my favorite player was T-Mac at one time. My favorite player was Iverson at one time. Big Bro ain't had no other favorite player from the moment he loved Kobe until the moment Kobe retired. No. When he started to fall off, he started liking Steph. I think after he hurt his Achilles.
Yeah.
When Kobe wasn't playing and he hurt his Achilles, you became a Steph.
Then it was
fan.
like Steph and KD, but
Right.
Kobe's the GOAT. I could give you reasons for why he's better than anybody has ever done it. If you want to go there with me, I could do that. I do it often. I'm a Kobe stan. I hold the flag firmly.
So we just wanted to honor Kobe today, man. You see, we got a couple of his shoes up here on the table. We got a nice Kobe Bryant picture that I meant to bring to put up right here. But whenever pretty soon we go have a set. A location for the podcast that's coming pretty soon, and we got to make sure when we get that going, we got some Kobe memorabilia,
just
like
put up
some
of the people we admire,
something that exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was thinking when as soon as we enter that space, I'm gonna bring some of my nip stuff in, and you know what I mean. But like I said, like we got maybe a pair or two of these shoes that you don't really wear. I'm gonna bring my Kobe jersey up to maybe put it up on the wall every time we pod, but. You don't I knew how much I admired and loved and respected Kobe, but I didn't even realize how much until today. Honestly, until today.
Same thing for me. I mean, I grew up idolizing this man. He played for my favorite team. If you ask me, he's the best player to ever do it. And let's talk about how Kobe Bryant.
Everybody knows, but
everybody knows, but let's document it. Earlier today, news broke that Kobe Bryant.
10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, his young daughter, Gianna, were in his private helicopter on the way with several other people on the way to AAU game, and the helicopter crashed. There was no survivors. I was sitting up playing 2K on a chill day. Been a busy weekend, just chilling. And then you called me and let me know that. And to be honest, when we was on the phone, I was just stunned. It was like it wasn't real. I couldn't believe it. And it's one of those situations, like, I'm a person that, and I've been very consistent with this, I have people in the media, I have people in, like, just celebrities in general that I like, and most of the time, unless they do something egregious, I could keep what they do separate from their art or their performance, whatever it is that they do. I'm not getting caught up in that. I'm not overly emotional about celebrities. I don't really care to delve into their lives. Like I said, if they're doing something illegal, if they're doing something wild, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But Kobe Bryant's always held a special place for me. The way as a player, and I didn't play at no super high level, but I like to think that I was above average.
Definitely were. Everybody get asked to come and play in organizations that traveled outside the country and play, and you got invited to go and do that. Just unfortunately weren't able to go. You were definitely above average. I'm gonna say that if you won't. I adopted the mindset that I seen this man put on display.
That's a fact. I played the way he inspired me to play, hard, full go, all the time. I don't back down, I don't bow down, I don't got it in me. I'm only playing to win. It's the only thing that matters when you're in that rectangle.
In fact, a lot of people don't know, Big Bro and I actually did from my 7th grade year all the way through high school. We did all those grades together, which was really dope for me. It was probably a little annoying for him at times, having his little brother everywhere he went, but it was dope for me. But our freshman year in high school, I actually got cut from the freshman team. Steph made the JV team and actually started a few games, and I remember being at them games and like people calling him Kobe. And keep in mind, he's a freshman on the JV team, and that was back when that wasn't really a common thing. Like now, a lot of people play,
that didn't happen back then.
People play AAU and people play club, and it's kind of common that if you've been playing AAU since you were like your 7th and 8th grade, from like 6th. If you started playing AAU in like 5th or 6th grade, and you're a standout on your AAU team, you're probably going to be a varsity player as a freshman. Even if you don't get that much playing time, you're going to be a varsity player.
Like you're too good to be,
Right, that wasn't a common thing back then. So for Big Bro as a freshman to make the JV team, it was a big deal. And then to start a few games as a freshman, that team had a couple of juniors on. It was ran by mostly sophomores. The best players were sophomores. But there were a few juniors on the team. And
the varsity team was straight, because it wasn't like we was going to crack varsity that year.
Right, right. And so for you to be on that team and then be making moves in the game that's like similar to Kobe, and people start calling you Kobe from the stands, was always super dope for me. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there. Go ahead.
But just carrying that spirit of what I felt like, what Kobe Bryant meant to me, carrying that spirit over in my play. After I was done playing, starting to train and coach, and just, I always tell people when I train, I'm training your skills, but I'm training your mentality. I'm training your mindset. The way that I put my workouts together is a mental test. And I adopted that from Kobe Bryant. Like some of the first people that I started training, I was like, hey, it's 6 a.m. Because Kobe was like, go in at 5 a.m., get your body to do what your mind doesn't want it to do right now. Wake yourself up, it's another test. If you could jump this hurdle, you could be great. Taking that over into coaching and just trying to fully embody what ended up being the Mamba mentality. For a lot of us, for a generation of us, we didn't need a hashtag. It's how we felt.
Yeah.
It's just it's the only way to compete. It's to go full go. I remember years after we graduated, we played in a alumni game at OG. Mm-hmm. And we was playing. It's a fundraiser. It's a fun thing for all the kids. You know what I'm saying? But we playing hard. Like the boys are playing against us hard. We're playing against them hard. And it's like a lot of the stuff we're talking about. I was like, bro, like I'm a Kobe baby, bro. This is the only way I know how to play. You know what I mean? It's like
I remember even the coach. I remember because some of the players at first they turned it up when they seen our energy, but some of the players thought it was just like, oh, go through the motions, have some fun today. And I remember that the coach had to tell them like, hey, they these are hoopers, fam. They coming to win. Y'all coming in here to play and look cute for the fans. They older. They graduated. Their time is past, but they came in here to kill y'all. And I remember even talking to the coach. I forget his name, but he came from Carlsbad. He had coached Sabrina, your homegirl Sabrina, went to Carlsbad, and he came down. He coached Derek.
Yeah.
But I remember he even like telling
Pixley?
us. Might have been Pixley.
Yeah.
I remember he even talking to us after the game, and he was like, "Yeah, y'all different." He was like, "I don't know if it's like y'all trying to like reminisce on the glory days or what." He was like, "But y'all different. Like I don't know. I don't see people compete like this in an alumni game." And I remember you said to him, "You was like, I'm a Kobe baby, bro. I don't know no other way to play." I remember you saying that.
It's just for me today's been super. I've been crying and tearing up on and off all day, and I said to say is like I said, I don't get overly invested. Like Kobe was my favorite player. Stuff that happened to him off the court, I was like, all right, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, it's not that I didn't care, but I necessarily like my favorite athletes and stuff. I don't care about that side of it. You know what I mean?
I did when I was younger. I do now.
But today, like days like today, you find out how much like somebody actually meant to you
100%.
and like Jay Colmenero hit me up and was like, bro, this is crazy. He was like, remember when I played in middle school, when we played in middle school and you used to always give me your old pair of Kobe's to play in? He was like, that's the first thing I thought about when I heard the news. And he was like, and I had to check on you.
That's crazy.
People been hitting me up all day, like.
It's actually a pair of these.
Yeah.
You had these ones, you had this pair, and then when the Kobe 2s came out, you got them in white. And Jay joined our team, and he was out there playing like some skate shoes, and he was like, nah, fam. And the next game, you came and gave him these. I remember that.
It like, for me, it's like, bro, I've always idolized this dude for the athlete, for the winner, for the champion. And then to see like D-Wade saying on Twitter, like, he's showing us how to transition, how to not need basketball. It's like, this dude was this guy in every walk of his life. Mm-hmm. And now he gone, and to be taken so tragically with his baby, man. With his daughter, man. Leaving behind his wife, his 3 other kids, 1 unborn.
And for me,
it's heartbreaking, bro.
For me, that was the toughest part. So when I got the news, I had just given Barron some breakfast, and I went upstairs. I went back upstairs to go check on pregnant wife who's laying in bed. You know, you always check on my wife, but especially when she's pregnant. Yeah. So I went up and I'm laying with her, and my phone was actually on silent, and I just happened to look at it. I got a text from my cousin Bree. Like I said, my dad's whole side of the family is Laker fans. My cousin texted me. He's like, please tell me this Kobe stuff ain't true. And so I thought, I obviously didn't think that he had died. I thought maybe like a car accident or like something like that. And then when I seen that, the first thing I seen was from Fox News. I said that he died. And no, granted, Fox News is like a real news source, real
but we
news
don't
site,
mess with that.
I don't mess with Fox News like that. So I was like, you know what?
For obvious reasons, y'all know what.
Exactly. I was like, when I see it on ESPN. Well, first I said when I see it on TMZ, and I was like, well, after I see it on TMZ and after I see it on ESPN, that's when I would believe it. And I just kept on refreshing my Google search and kept on refreshing it. I was like, somebody just tell me this is a hoax. That's all I was waiting for. Like somebody saying like, man, y'all stay killing somebody on Twitter. This ain't real. But it was real, fam. It was real. First thing I did was call you. But anyway, I'm saying that like I'm just telling you like, you know, my reaction to it. And I was upset and it was devastating. I remember just sitting there like with my head in my palms, just staring like, how can this be possible? And I hadn't cried. I didn't cry. And then I was watching ESPN and the news came out because you saw a whole bunch of stuff. One thing said that like all his girls was in the plane with him. Another one said that
his wife was
that his wife and Rick Fox was with him. It was like what is real? And then shout out to Roland Martin. I don't know if you know who Roland Martin is, but he tweeted out, he was like, yo, let's get the real news and then let's report on that. This is too heavy of a situation for us to be guessing.
And that's nasty of people just trying to be first.
Denzel talked about that. He was like, it becomes a problem when you want to be first, not even be truthful. But yeah, man, it didn't make me cry until I heard that his daughter was with him, man. And I just immediately thought about, I mean, Kobe's young, 41 is young, but 13? 13? And then I immediately thought about his wife, his children that he left behind. it just it's devastating, man. And it just when I heard that, I was like, no. Wifey came down and asked me what else news I heard, and I told her, and it just made me want to just go and grab my son. And Baron was down there, like I was watching TV in the garage, watching ESPN in the garage. Baron was in the living room watching, his little cartoons and little sing-alongs, and I just picked him up and just held him and was just crying, just rocking back and forth. And of course, he don't know what's going on. You okay, Daddy? You okay, Daddy? And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. Like, it's man, like as a mother, like you think about it honestly, it made me think about Lauren London. And that whole situation. And again, like you said, it did. You know you're a big fan of someone. You're a big fan of someone, but whoa, must have bumped that on the way by. Pardon us. You're a big fan of someone, like obviously, especially me. Like when I'm a big fan of someone, everybody knows. Like everybody knows I love Jay-Z. Everybody knows I love Dame. Everybody know how I felt about Nip. And so but then when those people get taken away, it's like what? Like I never cried when a celebrity died before. That never happened to me. Yeah. When Nipsey died, I couldn't stop crying. I was crying for weeks. Same thing with this one. And again, that was why I called you so quick because, and like I told you on the phone, when I got the news about Nip, I read the news on my phone, dropped my phone, and just put my hands in my face and just started crying for like 5 minutes. And I assumed you would be the same way because, like I said, I felt like a personal connection to Nip because I had the chance to like kind of like meet him in passing one time. I've been to a few of his live shows, and I like a lot of his music was extremely motivational for me and really like helped me, not really say like in hard times, but really like motivated me to like figure out what my next step was supposed to be. Yeah. And so knowing that like, and you're still, I don't even make music anymore. But you're somebody who's still heavily involved with basketball. You still coach, you still play, you still train yourself and train other people. And again, like you've been a Kobe fan your entire life. Kobe got to the league in 96? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You were 8. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And already loving basketball. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I put that in my Instagram post. I was like, you took a kid that had a love for a game and gave him a passion.
You were 9, I'm sorry. I was 6.
Like I'm getting emotional talking about it right now because it's gonna sound messed up, but it's not necessarily the man. It's the
ideal.
It's the feeling. It's the fire. Watching him play basketball was like almost therapeutic for me. I was like, yo, like, look at how much he cared. Like that's how I feel about basketball. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It was like he's playing my feelings, and he's showing me what like that feeling that I have for this game, mm-hmm. what it looks like on display. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So now I had a blueprint. Like there was a time when I figured, okay, I'm not gonna be 6'6", 220, and then I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna have to play a little different. Mm-hmm. And in my like style of play, I wanted to play like Rip Hamilton. I was like, yo, I could run and come off of screens and be a dog on D. I could do that. You know what I mean? But I was like, Kobe's the pinnacle for me. Like with work ethic, like, and that's something that I'm like big on when I'm talking to players. I'm like, yo, like this is a job. Like this is a work thing. If you want to be very good at this. You know what I mean? Like I always refer to Kobe. I say like, go watch some of what Kobe talks about. And it's not necessarily just with basketball, it's with whatever he does. I want to be the best. I'm going for excellence. And a big thing, like I was telling my wife earlier, is and this is something that I've adopted. And it was so profound when Kobe first said he has a fearlessness of failure. I'm not afraid to fail. I will put it all on the line every single time because that's the only way to be great.
That's something that I personally learned from Kobe because I used to be afraid to fail. Mm. I would do things, if I loved it, I would just go ahead and do it, and I didn't really try to compete. I would just do it because I loved it. Yeah. But at the same time with that, I would take my time with things before I would share it to people because I would be afraid that I wouldn't do it right or that I would fail at it and I would fail in front of everybody. But then when I remember, I don't know, I think it was after the 3-peat, and the three-peat was 2000 after 2002, and they were talking to Kobe just about like his career and his journey thus far, and he was talking about actually Shaq. It was he and Kobe, and Shaq was talking about how he was like fearless. He said like in that huddle when Kobe's rookie year when he shot those air balls, he was like, we had seasoned vets on our team that did not want those shots. And Kobe looked the coach dead in the face and was like, let me take him. Let me take him. He didn't say, Coach, I'm going to win the game for us.
He said, I'll shoot him.
He wasn't sure if he could.
Yeah.
But he wasn't afraid, though.
Yeah.
And that was
put it all
that
on
was
the
something
line,
I was like, you know what? That's dope. And I that was something I learned from Kobe. Like, be afraid to fail. Like, for what? Go first, and if you fail, then you just the first one to fail, and you get to learn from your own mistakes. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be afraid to fail. That's something that I definitely 100% learned from Kobe, man. Shout out to Kobe. Kobe, we love you, man. R.I.P. to Kobe. I mean, Vanessa, obviously, you probably never hear this, and you know what I'm saying, but just shout out to Vanessa, you know, Big Bean, you know, his pops, like his whole family, the whole basketball community, the Lakers organization, anybody, man, anybody that loves sports and that loves competition at the highest level, that loves a winner, that loves just anybody that goes about anything the right way. You're hurting right now because you knew Kobe, and you knew what he meant to whatever he put his hands on. So
thank you, Kobe.
Thank you, Kobe.
Thank you.
Shout out to you. Let's take a break real quick so we can figure out this memory card, man.
And we're back.
Yes.
Got all that out.
What's next on the document? I feel like we need to play some like Happy or something.
Yeah,
For real. Let's get some upbeat music going or something. Man.
You want to talk about Odell and the money?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
because that's something.
Much lighter.
Yeah, that's something we can laugh about while we talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
While I find some, I mean, you wanna kind of intro it while I find some music to play.
Yeah. So I should have watched the game. I mess with football, but for whatever reason I didn't watch the game. But LSU. Everybody knows Odell Beckham Jr. He was the receiver that used to dye his hair blonde. He's the one that caught the one-hand pass. He used to play for the Giants. Now he plays for Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Plays for the Cleveland Browns. He graduated from LSU, played football at LSU, and they played in the championship game. He's in the stands. What's that?
Just that Drake, that life's good.
Okay.
Life is good.
That's okay.
Future.
I love that song. Well, I like Drake's part. When Future come on, I turn it off.
I like that's the whole thing.
But yeah, so anyway, Odell played for LSU. He was at the game. He's being all belligerent. Got the megaphone. He yelling stuff, just being crazy. He looked like he was on drugs to me. It looked like more than just drunk. He looked like he was high or something to me. But anyway, he making it about himself, like putting cash in his hand, dapping up the LSU players, which is like on the one hand, yeah, I don't care if you give them money, but why not do that in the locker room where there's no cameras are? Then he in the locker room, he smack a security guard on the butt, just being all just being extra and being belligerent, making himself look like a clown.
I have different thoughts on that stuff, so this would be a good combo. I have different thoughts on all of that.
He just made himself look like a clown. Like he wanted to make it, and I heard one podcast I listened to, they were like, bro, he's only like 23, 24. He's not that far removed from college. And he's back on campus, the school where he is the most famous football player out of that school.
Yeah, he's the most famous alumnus. He is there.
Well, maybe Shaq. Shaq went to LSU.
But right now, he's the biggest alumnus right now.
I feel you. And so
especially with the football program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I get it. You know what I mean? Like, you're back on campus, your team is in the championship, you should be turned up. And to be honest, if you want to be a little bit drunk or a lot of bit drunk, have a blast. But that's too much. That's too much. You can't, like, bro, you know you can't give money to them like that. You know that. You're not a booster. You can't do that. And that's why I feel like he made it about himself. He could have done it. He could have let it be known to the whole team, like, yo, you little niggas win, I'm cashing y'all out. Put it in an envelope, put it in a locker, or leave it for the coach to give it to him. Something. He didn't have to do it that way, bro. And then slapping a security guard on the butt in the locker room. Security guard should have knocked. I mean, he can't beat up Odell. He can't. But I mean, like, if that security guard wanted to be like, hey, yo, we gotta come put him on the floor real quick. They'd have been all within their right to do. You just assaulted him. Physical or sexual assault, whatever you want to call it. You just assaulted that man. That's not okay.
I think that there's a bunch of different angles to go at this from. I think the thing with the security guard, that's going too far. You're messing with his authority. And I get why Odell did it, but at the same time, you have to respect the authority that this person is supposed to be in here securing it. I think that
I do think it was extra that the security was in there, making sure nobody was drinking or smoking cigars. Like, bro, they just won a championship.
Yeah.
Like, let them rock out.
Yeah.
But regardless,
which is technically illegal. And that's one of my points.
I hear you.
That's one of my things. They shouldn't be smoking those. There's a bunch of stuff going on that shouldn't be happening.
Well,
and we're focusing on Odell.
If they are 18, it's not illegal to smoke a cigar. Now, drinking is one thing, but if they're smoking cigars,
but all of them ain't 18 in there.
In college?
Yeah, I mean, well, shit. There's a lot of people that are 17 when they get on campus. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I was 17 when I started college, and nah, bro, everybody had to be 18.
I don't know, but you gotta be 21 to smoke.
It's not important.
Like.
Now you buy cigarettes at 18. Well, in California, anyway.
I think that as far as him putting the money in the kids' hands, okay, yeah, maybe he should have did it differently, or maybe he's making a point to the NCAA that you guys' rules are kind of effed up, and I think that it's irresponsible for mainstream media to make it about Odell, because that's who's making it about Odell.
No, he did.
No, that's an opportunity to talk about the NCAA's rules and how it's wrong. And like, they're choosing to talk about Odell because he's the star of the situation. Yes, he was drunk and doing all of that other stuff. And that's why I said there's a lot of different angles. But when it comes to the handing money to players thing, that's an opportunity for you guys to talk about these rules that make it illegal for these kids to get money, even though they're in the middle of the biggest game, the best season that a team's ever had, with the best quarterback that college football's ever seen, at least record-wise and performance-wise, and all of this stuff. Everybody's making a ton of money, and it's illegal for a dude that's rich to hand his own money to people that he supports. When people are going to do it all in the background illegally, but that, I'm saying, for the media, I know what he's doing is wrong. But I'm saying, to me, it's a missed opportunity. It's a missed opportunity to put the NCAA on Front Street instead of putting Odell on Front Street. Yes, he was belligerent. Yes, he was drunk. Yes, he was over there posting up Karl Malone and acting crazy and doing all of that other stuff. They've documented his day. He was probably more than drunk. I agree with you. But I think when it comes to that, that's an opportunity missed. The NCAA makes it illegal for those kids to make any money.
Sure, but okay, so what if they talked about both of those things? Would you be okay with it? Or should they have only that they should have left Odell alone when he doing all of that? They should just leave him alone and only talk about the NCAA when they've beaten that dead horse and this is a brand new thing?
Oh, I don't think they've beaten that dead horse. And
I'll give you that.
And I think that even if you feel like that they've beaten the dead horse, I feel like every chance, if you really feel like these rules are wrong, because I hear a lot of people saying, but you know these are the rules. An unjust rule is no rule at all. There are certain leaders that have led movements, Martin Luther King and other people, that will say it is your duty to go against the unjust law. It is your job to make your voice heard at every point that you can.
But do you really think that's what he was doing?
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Odell. I'm talking about the media coverage of it. It's a different narrative. It looks different.
But what, like, you don't think they're gonna talk about that?
No, I think that they have an opportunity to talk about whatever they want, and they chose to talk about Odell because he's the big shiny star acting a fool. And that's a bigger story than college kids not being allowed to get money, because we've talked about that before, like you said. But if you really on the side of these kids, you would talk about that more than you're talking about the athlete. I'm not saying don't bring up both. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Odell's right.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying that
I'm glad you said that. Every single celebrity or any notable person that's been in the public eye, whenever they've done anything belligerent, especially in this day and age when everybody literally has a camera and a computer in their pocket to document everything, so everything's gonna get documented. Mm-hmm. We talk about everybody, so we could talk about him too, especially when you're doing something that's just flat out stupid.
No, I agree, but I watch a lot of sports media. None of them. They brushed the subject of NCAA violation under the rug to talk about the shiny star. And that's my problem with it. We see, bro, you go out places all the time, especially over here in Southern California. You could walk out of any club night and you could see somebody of note drunk, acting a fool. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. TMZ, they've built a platform, a very profitable platform off of following famous people around and following their indiscretions. You have a perfect opportunity and this is my thing. The media loves to beat up the NCAA when it's convenient for them, when it's going to be front page news and it's going to do all of that. Now you got a choice.
And see,
make
I disagree
Odell
with
the
that.
front page news, or make this rule that is unjust a front page news.
I don't even think the media platforms ever kill the NCAA. I think the media platforms do a good job of letting their personalities voice their opinion. So I don't think obviously it'd be stupid for them to do that because they air all the games. So it'd be stupid for ESPN or Fox or any other place to say something about the NCAA. But they do provide a platform for people like Jalen, the ESPN at least, provides a platform for people like Jalen Rose to be like,
FS1, a lot of people do.
You know what I'm saying? They provide a platform to let people like Jalen Rose or Chris Broussard or Wiley talk about the fact that like, no, these NCAA rules are stupid. They're idiotic. Like it shouldn't be that way. And so I don't like, and if we're gonna like. And so I guess that's where I disagree. If there's someone that's going to talk about that, then it needs to be somebody like a Jalen Rose or like a Marcellus Wiley or Chris Broussard to be like, bro, it's Odell Beckham. It's at his school. Those are his little guys. He should be able to give them money. But I'm not going to condemn them I guess I can agree with you that it's a missed opportunity. But in my opinion, it would like it.
I think the bigger talking point is the unjust rules and how these kids are and I want to say this tongue in cheek, but I'm gonna just say it. This is how I feel. How those kids are damn near slaves.
Oh, they're getting pimped for sure.
You know, that's a better way.
They're getting pimped for sure.
And everybody's up in arms when it's the off season and there ain't no football to talk about. Everybody's in arms about the NCAA rule and how this is messed up and all of that. And now you have an opportunity to put them on Front Street in the biggest spot that the sport has to offer. And you don't. Why? Because like you said, they are partners with them. And they do got to air some of those games. And they would like to get the game next year as well. But I heard one show really talk about it. First take. I think the rules unjust, but Odell's to the fool.
And see stuff
it's
like
like,
that.
come on, man. I get it. Y'all got a TV show, but your TV show's doing great. You guys talk about it all the time. You guys have. To me, it's an obligation.
Stuff like
to talk
that,
about that.
Exactly what you're talking about is why I mess with podcasts so much. Because podcast, I mean, even like Stephen A, he gets to say Stephen A is like the one person that really truly gets to say what he wants. He's literally on TV all day and night.
Oh.
They're not gonna do nothing to this.
You know what show you got it?
Hold on, let me just finish. What I love about podcasting is that they get to give their raw, unfiltered takes and opinions about things. Like I said, like even Jalen and Jacoby is one of my favorite podcasts, but even them, it's ESPN, it's Disney, so they can only go but so far. But Jalen be on there giving it up.
Oh yeah.
Jalen be on there giving it up.
Jay will give it up too.
And that's why I like the podcast space, because people that you would never hear like cursing or like giving just raw, this is how I feel and I don't really care. You get to get it there.
Yeah.
And that's why and I would say maybe they should just go and do that on their podcast. And the fact that nobody did that on their podcast makes me feel like maybe they agree in this situation in particular. Maybe they agree more with me than with you. They're just like, bro, like we all know what the rule is. He was acting like an idiot, and the biggest thing for me, what I saw the most of was that he had a warrant for his arrest for slapping the security guard's butt. I didn't see a whole bunch. And again, you watch way more than I do. I watch First Take in the mornings. And even with that, I wait for the basketball stuff. When it's too much football, I'm like, whatever, I'll just watch it on YouTube. I'm not going to sit through all this football stuff. So I'm saying that to say you watch and listen to way more sports, talk radio, TV shows, and commentary than I do. But from what I heard, and I watched 3 sports shows, and I listened to like maybe 4 or 5 sports podcasts. Nobody was really talking about the fact that he gave out money. They talked about that a little bit. They documented his entire day, what he was doing in the stands, what he did, after the game, and posting up Karl Malone, him in the locker room. They talked about everything. But the biggest thing that they spoke about was him in the locker room slapping that security guard on the butt, which is, in my opinion, is valid. You're out here acting like an idiot. People are going to say you're acting like an idiot. They're not really going to focus on the fact that the NCAA rule is unjust, because in my opinion, I agree with you. It can be deemed as a missed opportunity.
I think it's a bigger story. I think that if you're really on the side of, like trying to be right on this whole NCAA thing, like I said, if this is a regular season game, I get it. Odell being the story. This is the sport's biggest platform. This is the national championship. They just went undefeated and beat like 6, 7 ranked teams Like, they've had the best year that a college team can have. And you guys blew it. You blew it. I was gonna say I think that both things could be true. Like, I don't think in this case that you have to pick one or the other. It's just about what do you want to put up front? What do you want to talk about most? Because they brush the NCAA stuff, and I guarantee you, once the offseason comes and there's no games to be played, they will talk more about this. They won't talk about Odell anymore. And people will be like, well, they've talked about that. Well, you've talked about NCAA rules too. Why is it a big deal now? Oh, you don't have anything to talk about when it comes to college football. There's no games being played. You know what I'm saying? Like, part of it is just the monster of 24-hour sports reporting. They got to talk about something. But even with that, there's an A block, there's a B block, there's a C block. And most of the time, A is most important. B is pretty important. C, you're getting ready to close out the show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works like that. You guys missed it. Brushing that under the rug. Now, don't come back. All you people, don't come back and talk about how these kids are just outworked and they need somebody to support them and they need a voice and all this stuff. You had your chance. You had your chance. You blew it. That's how I feel. None of the kids are coming out and saying, Odell ruined our moment. He was celebrating with them.
Absolutely.
Maybe celebrating
sure
too much, but I'm just saying that to give like more background to nobody that was involved was really complaining about Odell. You guys are complaining about Odell. You know what the players are complaining about? They don't get paid, bro. That's what they're complaining about. They don't get paid. They're complaining that he could come up and hand me money and that's illegal. But when the coach does it on the back end, we gotta keep it low because we're not even allowed to get money. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
I
just think it's a little. I don't want to say naive is not the word. It's a little. I think you're wilding if you think that they were gonna make the NCAA rule the big story when Odell's out there acting like that. Like you're grasping at nothing if you really think that they were gonna talk about the NCAA rule as opposed to what Odell was out there doing.
I think as much as they talk about it in the off season, one person and like you said, I watch a ton of this stuff. I keep up with this stuff because I'm just interested to see what's going to happen with these players and how this is going to end up shaking out. But they talk about it a lot when they think that they don't have a lot to talk about when it comes to that sport. And everybody's on the side of the kids, and that's why I'm so adamant about that. Like, you guys go hard for these kids. Why aren't you going hard for them right now? Why? Because Odell's acting an ass? Bro, pick a day. Go find a celeb. There's somebody acting drunk out somewhere stupid. Pick a day.
He was extra with it though, fam.
But there's always somebody.
Speaking of people out wilding, he wasn't even wilding. And this isn't even what's next. We're going to talk about Antonio Brown in a second. You see the video that came out of your boy Kawhi Leonard?
Was that really him?
It was really him, fam. They dirty for that, fam.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do nothing illegal or do anything wrong.
Whoever's behind that DJ booth.
That's foul.
Well, number one, look, man, I don't know.
Before we get into it, somebody, the fun guy, Kawhi Leonard, was in a strip club, in the spot, getting a private dance. He's sitting there, girl twerking. She topless. I think she might have been fully naked, but she
was fully naked.
Yeah, she's fully naked, twerking in front of him. Looking good. He enjoying himself. If I'm not mistaken, he might either grabbed her booty or slapped it.
He slapped it, threw some bread,
and then started making it rain. And I'm like, bro,
throwing
why?
that New Balance money.
Throwing it with his big old New Balance hoodie on too. He looking.
Go ahead. I got thoughts about that.
I mean, if you know he's Kawhi Leonard. And he just won the battery, and he just won a championship. So it's like, it's gonna be there. I mean, people are gonna know who he is. But I'm like, bro, you had to know that was Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? This dude rocks braids straight back. Him and Nip was the only niggas doing that, and now he the only one out there still holding it down. And he got on a white New Balance hoodie in the strip club, and he got millions and millions of dollars. He don't look like some flashy nigga in the strip club. You know what I'm saying? So obviously the person that saw him was like, "Yo, that's Kawhi Leonard right there," and pulled out his phone and recorded it, and then posted it. Like, that's foul, bro.
No, that's foul.
That's
but
foul.
I have a theory. I have a theory about Kawhi. I think that the whole quiet guy, introvert thing, I think it's a facade.
No, I don't.
I mean, people talk about, I think that's his personality. I think he bigs it up, and I think he does things to brand it.
Yeah, like anybody.
And I think that now that he's back home, he's in LA, he wants to start rolling out a different side of him. And I think that things like, okay, number one, most people that want to be low have a private room. Nobody's in there. Like, nobody can get in there. You know what I'm saying? People of his stature don't do what he's doing out in front of everybody.
Valid.
One. Two, you are 6'8", 200-something pounds, walking in. We all know who you are. You have on a big, you know you're going to be in a dark. What strip club is well lit? They're not.
Mm-hmm.
You're walking in here with your tall ass, with a big ass white hoodie on, with your brand insignia on it. I'm not saying he wanted to be recorded. I'm saying he wasn't tripping about people knowing it was him. That DJ or whatever booth they were behind, that's dirty, having somebody recording people in a place like that. Most people, and that's why I said most people in Kawhi's situation, they pay for it to be pretty discreet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that you can't be a quiet dude and enjoy a strip club. I'm not saying that. I'm saying most people that are of that stature are well aware that they're gonna be spotted in a big ass white hoodie. I'm a foot taller than everybody in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing more money than anybody in here. Eyes are gonna be on me, and that's why people pay for privacy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it's like, you can't be so introverted that you didn't think that somebody was gonna record you. Kawhi, give me a break. You're on camera 24/7. Come on, man. Cut this shit. Cut the shit. You're surprised?
I mean, obviously, you don't never hear this nigga speak. He
Yeah,
hasn't said
exactly.
anything about it. I'm talking about how I feel.
No, I feel you.
That's foul.
No, that's dirty. That is dirty. That act of recording somebody in that place like that is dirty.
You should
to be
not
honest,
be filming or audio recording anyone without their consent.
this is my thing.
Period.
Who, in that situation, is worth? I've never been in a strip club and was like, yo, I gotta pull my phone out. I'm not trying to pull my phone out, bro.
Right.
I'm trying to enjoy myself.
That's something I hadn't even thought about, bro.
Like, are you kidding me? I wouldn't have noticed. I would have been like, damn, Kawhi's in the spot. But yo.
But
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, give me
I
a
feel
break,
you.
bro.
I hear
Give
you.
me a break.
I
Get
hadn't
a life,
even
bro.
thought about that.
Look, to the guy or gal who's recording him. Number one, if you're working there, you're recording patrons, you're a clown. You need to be fired. If you're in there trying to enjoy yourself, but it's more important for you to get that shot, go somewhere else, bro. You clearly don't belong in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a frequent gentleman club attender.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've been once, you know how it goes down. You're not in people's business when you're in there. You're not seeing who's walking back to what room and doing what. It ain't your business, bro. It's dark in here for a reason.
To me, I mean, if people be like, bro, that's kind of weird, but I equate it to like when you was like, for me anyway, when you in high school, maybe like, not really out of high school, is that when you grown, you don't really care, but in high school, like you at a party or you at the dance, and you really gigging on a girl, and you feeling like it's oh man, you feeling like it's maybe a little bit extra. You kind of worried about who looking at you, right? Mm-hmm. But when it's a packed dance floor, you don't care.
Yeah,
you just doing your thing, and that's how it is in a strip club. You like, yo, it's in here, it's dark, there's a lot of people in here.
We're doing our thing.
And then at the same time, when it's a packed dance floor, you're assuming that everybody else is just focused focused on what they doing. So you're not really worried about people looking at you. That me anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once you get grown, you don't really care. Like, I don't care who look at me. I'm doing my thing. But like I hadn't even thought about that, bro. If you in a strip club as a man, you in the gentleman's club, and there's all of this walking around.
Or the girl. Either the girls. Either you're in there enjoying yourself or you're in there working. Either way, you should not be recorded. Your job's to record the celebs that are in here? No, it's not. No, it's not. And Kawhi, my advice would be, get a private room, fam. Get a private room. It's a bad look. It just is. There's a lot of people like me and you that do not care that he's on that.
Not at all.
And there's a lot of people that are going to be like, you're a role model and all of this. It's like, I don't think that people should be propping up athletes and people like that to be the role models for their kids, but it does happen, and you should be conscious of that, and that can be a bad look for you. You might not care, and my rebut would be you should. You know what I mean? But that's nasty, bro. That's nasty. Like, Kawhi in there just trying to have a good time. He's trying to throw some money, you know what I mean? Like, because at first, I see somebody on Twitter say, this is not even Kawhi. So I was like, I just missed it. I was like, come on, man. But then I was looking at it again, and I was like, that sure enough looked like homie. Like, who got shoulders that big? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, whose shoulders are that big, bro? Like, give me a break. Like, it's gotta be him. But I just think that which brings up another point. We're just to a point to where, like, there's no such thing as privacy, man. Like, you can want it all. You could seek privacy all you want. It's not existent, fam. It's over for that. It's over for that. Our phones listen to us. They're always watching us through our phones and our computers. There's no way of getting away from it. And if you are fortunate enough to be able to pay for a certain amount of privacy or discreetness, if that's even a word, do that every time you can. Especially if you're in a strip club and your name's Kawhi Leonard, you're 6'8", and you make $100 million.
Discretion.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, discretion.
Mm-hmm.
You should pay for a certain amount of discretion. That would be my advice. It's like, it's just, it is what it is, bro. You got caught because you were a little asleep, but they shouldn't have been doing that. But nobody's gonna care that they shouldn't have been doing that. You're the $100 million man in the big ass white hoodie with your insignia on it, throwing money and smacking ass. Like that's all people are gonna worry about. Like a lot like with the Odell thing. Like, what's the story gonna be? Big star or people's private? Like people invading your privacy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I get it, but it's like, do you think, Kawhi? Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at you.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I'm not mad at you. That's a good smack, too. That's the way you're supposed to do that. He did it with the overhead.
Yeah, but I'm glad I thought of that because I think that just came this morning or last night, whenever it was. But that wasn't on the docket to talk about. What was on the docket to talk about, while we was talking about football players from Odell to Antonio Brown. Now, look.
Yeah.
A lot of people been saying so Antonio Brown, he's a dude that was on the Raiders and was wilding out.
Well, it started. Well, you want me to document?
Yeah, go ahead, because I don't even know it like that. I just know the wild stuff.
Antonio Brown is a guy. I want to say he was drafted like in the 6th round, like, but he ended up being one of the best receivers of all time. Yeah, he picked up by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He years later, after going to the Steelers and cultivating his skills and becoming really good and nice, the best receiver in the league, he gets a big payday. And from that moment on, it seemed like he was a diva now. After a game, he's on Facebook Live in the locker room. Anybody that's ever been in the locker room culture, cameras aren't allowed, bro. We don't do it. We just don't do it. We don't do it. There's stuff that goes on in the locker room that ain't but there's nobody's business.
And I don't really watch or pay attention to football, like I've said a few times. That was honestly, I heard Chad Johnson, they asked Chad Johnson one time, Ocho Cinco, who he thought the best receiver was. And if I'm not mistaken, he said Antonio Brown. So that was my first time really hearing his name because I don't watch football. And then the next time I heard his name was when he recorded the coach talking in the locker room. Yeah. Go ahead.
And so from there, that ended up he's going at the coach, he's going at the star quarterback. He gets moved. They send him to Oakland. He gets another big deal. He started acting up in Oakland. He's like, they find him for being late to something. He put the letter on Instagram, and he's just doing a whole bunch of stuff. Then he ends up with the Patriots of all places. He gets cut, cost himself $30 million with the Raiders, and then gets picked up by the Patriots. He can't keep. They tell him lay low, be chill, bro, cool. He can't do it there either. He's had a lot of erratic behavior to the point that people are worried about this man, right? And now he's out.
Speak to that. Go ahead.
And now he's out here. And he's yelling at his baby mom industries. There's a new allegation that he beat up a moving driver. Him and his trainer. I want to say
that's allegedly what he turned himself in for.
Yeah, him and his trainer jumped a moving truck guy, like beat him. When you get felony battery, you guys beat the hell out of this dude, bro. That's not like, dude got in my face, I gave him an eye jammy.
Yeah,
that's not that.
It would just be assault. When it turns to battery, that means like y'all was
felony battery. He was hurt, bro. He needs to be hospitalized. You know what I'm saying? But he's a whole lot of erratic behavior. There's a lot going on with him. None of it makes sense. I think everybody cared, like, to the point to where his agent has stepped away from him. Teams don't want to touch him. Some teams have kicked the tires on him, but the league has made it clear. Last season, homeboy wasn't going to play. Pick him up if you want. He's not going to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's over. Not over, like his playing career ain't over. He's too good. Somebody will pick him up eventually. But he hasn't shown behavior that's going to get him back in the league, and that's why people think it's over for him.
And with all this wild stuff he's been doing, they've been talking about CTE. He may very well have CTE.
No. I personally think that every football player does. There's different levels of it, and they can't find out till you're dead and test your brain. But I think that every football player has it. But that's just me. That's my theory.
You don't how much do you think it takes? Like you're saying every football. What about the guys that only started playing in high school? Like, you think every single player in the NFL has CTE?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that they've played enough football to where they've banged their head enough to where.
You think Derek has CTE? You think I have CTE? Because we both played Pop Warner and high school.
I think there's a chance that you guys might not, but I think that if you play long enough.
Derek is our little brother. He'll tell you straight up, his hands still aren't his hands used to be really shaky, and he 100% believes that's from playing football from 5th grade to his freshman year of college. He firmly believes that's why his hands are shaky, because of football. And so he may very well have CTE, and because of the whole concussion thing, and shout out to Will Smith for making that movie, and this whole the research on CTE, they did their job of sweeping it under the rug and not really speaking on it. So we don't really know how CTE affects the brain. We know it makes you like a little bit depressed, you impulse control, I guess, which would explain some of the things that he's done. But like you said, he didn't start wilding until he got the bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's just ignorant. I think he is stuck at age 14 or 15. That's what I think. I think a lot of these people, a lot of these athletes, celebrities, actors a little bit different, but a lot of these celebrities that blow up super young, I believe that they behave the way they behave because they're just stuck in immaturity. And him especially, he's ignorant. Like, not like, oh, like some people, everyone's ignorant to something. Like, no, he is an ignorant person. If you watch the way he types on Twitter, you watch what he puts in his Instagram posts, the way and granted, I hate typos. Like, I hate having typos. When I go back and read my tweets and my comments and stuff, I'll be like, man, I wish I can go back and correct that. He don't just be having typos, bro.
I'm typo god.
It's full on. He don't know how to spell certain words. When he's speaking, he doesn't articulate himself very well. I just think he's not very bright, not very intelligent, and stuck at age like 14 or 15. That's what I think. He may very well have CTE, but I don't think CTE is what's making him behave.
No, I don't think it is either. But I agree with you. I don't think he's stuck at age 14 or 15. I think that their development is stunted. When you come into money or you come into means at a young age and you're a child star, you stop dealing with reality. You know what I mean? That's what I think. But I think it's just a perfect potion of a lot of stuff, and it's easy to blame it on CTE. He gets hit in the head for a living. He had one real nasty hit against you know what I mean? It concussed him. It was serious. It was serious. People thought he was gonna die. Like,
really?
Vontez Burfict hit him in the playoffs a couple of years when he was with the Steelers, and it was serious, bro. Like it was one of those hits. Like, it was like, is he gonna be all right? You know what I mean? But I think it's a perfect potion. Like, when you know Antonio Brown's story, a lot of it makes sense. He comes from very impoverished area. His mom kicked him out the house when he was young. His dad wasn't around, and there are things that we can explain more because we don't fully know everything about CTE, but we do know the people that come from impoverished places and broken homes have trouble with alcoholism and self-medicating with drugs and alcohol and all of that stuff.
That's valid. I didn't know all that stuff about him.
I think that it has more to do with that and being enabled at every step of the way because his talent was so immense. You let him get away with things. And now he's an adult and hasn't really had to deal with reality. And he's always gotten by on his talent. He didn't turn into an asshole.
And that's what I mean.
Not yesterday.
And that's what I mean about his maturity being stunted. Like he didn't.
I agree with you full-heartedly.
He didn't have to mature in that respect. Like he's a grown man. He makes all that money. He pays bills. I'm sure he takes care of a lot of his family. That's grown man stuff. You can't deny that. But we're talking about.
That doesn't mean you're a grown man.
In here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That means you have the means to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm quite sure, and I'm gonna bring up Bow Wow again. People know I was a huge fan of him. I'm quite sure Bow Wow paid all his mom's bills and bought her a house and whatever car she wanted. In fact, she talks about it. He like a lot of this stuff that other people get or go crazy over. Me and my mom was doing that when I was 15. Like, oh, y'all going crazy about a Bugatti? I had a Bugatti when I was 16. It doesn't faze me the way it phases other people. Mm-hmm. I'm saying all that to say, you're right. Bow Wow was taking care of his mom, or you can take care of somebody at a certain age, but that don't make you grown. So I will retract that statement. I don't think it's CTE, fam. I don't.
I don't either, but I do think that it plays a part. We've seen people with different levels, like Junior Seau, because of CTE, paid the ultimate price and took his life. That doesn't mean CTE did it, but it didn't help him with dealing with his depression, with dealing with the life after football, to finding his next job, to feeling pressure of family and all of that stuff. And again, you know what I'm saying? CTE doesn't help that, but I don't think it's the reason. And I think that there's a lot of things that you could point to before CTE to explain why Antonio Brown's acting how he's acting. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, he has to be held accountable for the things he does. You in the streets yelling at the police and yelling at your baby mama and all of this other stuff. You're acting like a fool. Yes, you are acting like a fool. CTE might play a part in where, like you said, impulse control. He might not be able to always stop that. But at what point are you not held responsible for even knowing that you have a problem and correcting it? You know what I'm saying? There comes a point to where, let's take the instance of somebody being a drug addict. A loved one's a drug addict, right? At some point, everybody's got to say, I've done all I can. If you don't want to correct this, I can't be here for the full destruction of what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And Antonio Brown's at that point. CTE is a part of it. But if you're not willing to let people help you, your biggest advocate to get what you say you want back is the NFL. Your biggest advocate stepped away from you and said, go get help. I don't agree necessarily with how your agent, they preach all this, I'll take care of you, I'm here for you, I'm in your corner stuff, and now that you're not making a whole bunch of money, he's stepping away. I think that looks funny. But maybe he's taking himself away to say, let him hit rock bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe he's been behind, I don't know. That's why I'm saying maybe. Or maybe he's been telling him, hey, yo, fam, you've been wilding. Like, you got to stop doing that. Maybe he's been telling him.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe his agent is like, I've done all I can do, bro.
There you go.
You're going to have to hit rock bottom before you're ready to start getting back up. I can see that. I'm your caveat to get back in the league. I'm stepping away. When you get help, he'll come back, which I kind of think is nasty of your agent. Just be done with them. Don't say, I'm out on you until you get your shit together. Then we can make some more money together.
No,
you know what I'm saying? I don't like the look of it. Not when you're preaching that you want to be here for this guy. Like, Drew Rosenhaus is a notable agent, bro.
That's one way to look at it.
He's had other people that have been in trouble. He hasn't stepped away, and that's what I'm saying. This is an extreme situation. Mm-hmm. This is an extreme situation where it's like, man, like Shannon Sharp said, all this ended up with, there was a warrant out for his arrest. He's held up in his house. He's not coming out because he doesn't want to go turn himself in. It's like, you're playing a dangerous game, bro. They know that you're a gun owner. They know that you have concealed weapons. If they come in there, bro, it's going to be nasty. Don't make this a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? Get the help that you need. I think that maybe the NFL could do different things to help players with this stuff, but he's beyond anybody's help. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds terrible, but he's beyond anybody's help. It's like, if you're not, like, at what point are you going to try to help yourself? And that's why I say, like, CTE might not be helping, but I think that everybody around for a long time, like, the Steelers, this is widely known, bro. The Steelers coach said they have a motto. We'll tolerate you till we can trade you. So you'll enable this behavior. Okay.
That's not what that means. Enabling and tolerating are two completely different things.
When you go without punishment or without correction, you're enabling. When he's allowed to show up for stuff and not be fined when other players are fined, he's above the rules.
But isn't that pretty much what every team does? Like, we'll tolerate you until it's like, to me that says, bro, like, to me, and I could be wrong, to me that says, we know all of y'all be wilding out. So we'll let you wild out up until a certain point. Well, and once you cross that point, we got to get rid of you, fam. Which is understandable.
No, that's true. But on the way there, players get fined, they get suspended. You know what I'm saying?
They never fined him or did anything.
I mean, he never missed no game because of disciplinary action until the very end with the Steelers. He never made it to a regular season game with the Raiders, and he played in one game with the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think that ultimately is a very, very sad story, and that I as a football fan, somebody that watches and keeps up with like the storylines of football, this has the potential to end very tragically, and I don't like that.
I agree with that.
I just want to make it like there's other stuff. I want to make clear there's other stuff that you could point to well before CTE for why somebody coming from where he come from is dealing with alcoholism and dealing with this and doesn't seem to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we see child stars all the time. They don't got CTE. And what about all the football players that did play football and played a more violent position than him, like linebacker or lineman, that aren't acting a fool like this? It ain't just CTE. You know what I'm saying? It definitely, it's an ingredient. It's not the main one. That's what I'm saying. I think that I think like he's one of those people that I'm pretty sure everybody in the football world prays for, dude. This dude, like, it's not like he was burning out of the league. Like, this dude's at the top of his game, putting up Jerry Rice numbers. You know what I mean? Like, he's the best receiver in the league. You know what I mean? Like, and then you go off the rails. Yeah, a lot of people are, especially if your talent's always been able to get you over, and now you're in a situation where people are demanding that you act right. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just a lot.
Things happen to people, and I'm not excusing that. Like you said, this is a perfect, I forget the word you mixed, but like
potion.
There you go. I was gonna say cocktail. It's a perfect potion, but I'm not absolving anybody of personal responsibility and accountability.
And that's like that's why I
have to factor in, and that leads me to Aaron Hernandez. Mm-hmm. They talk about how all of this happened and all of this happened and all of this happened, and I could be looking at it from a very not like privileged as far as money goes, but I was privileged and blessed enough to have two parents in the house that were God fearing and that, you know, had their head on straight and made sure that all of us had our heads on straight. Mm. And he apparently didn't have that. And so I don't want to be, you know, insensitive to that or disregard that, but we gotta have some personal accountability too. Mm-hmm. Like, how long have you been alive? How long have you looked at the TV and seen people wilding out and have to pay for those consequences? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my thing with Aaron Hernandez, again, with CTE, CTE don't make people murderers. Look, we don't know everything about CTE. We know that it doesn't help with impulse control and different things like that. It don't make people, mad football players have CTE.
Bro,
none of them have murdered people.
He got his friends together, lured this nigga somewhere, took him in the back and killed him. That's not an impulse, that's a plan.
Yeah.
An impulse is we get into a beef, you push me, I punch you, grab my gun, and then shoot you. That's all stupid, but you can argue that that's impulse control. All of that he did, that is an impulse. Mm-hmm. He made a plan and carried it out. So you can say that CTE made him do that, but that I'm not rocking with that.
I don't like the attack. And look, this is gonna sound like somebody that's just flagging for the NFL, and trust me, I do not.
Oh yeah. See if I can get us some more disk space real quick.
You want to save that first?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Like, we don't need no chances. I feel you.
Or when we come back, do you want to just cut in and kind of end, so we don't end up running up against the cloud like we did the other time?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm sometimes like I already cleared the disk space, but I think if I close the program, double save. Okay. Sometimes it's like that when I'm doing video too. Like sometimes if you clear the disk and then close out the program and reopen it, it might give you some more space.
Good couple more minutes.
Or give you the space that you've now created. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm. But that I'm not rocking with that.
I don't like the attack. And look, this is gonna sound like somebody that's just flagging for the NFL, and trust me, I do not. So I'm not gonna sit here and flag for the NFL, but I think that.
Some of these videos, I don't think I have any videos on here. Yeah, all the stuff I made that little recap video with, the podcast recap video. I hope I don't need this. If I do, oh well, it's gone now. It's time to pod. I posted it. Yeah, Sweetwater's the game you just played. Yeah, I posted that already. I got a whole bunch of stuff to delete. I've been working and haven't really been.
I feel like I do the same thing on my work computer. Just flagging for the NFL, and trust me, I do not.
Ooh.
Before I can't take it back. Before I don't want to like regurgitate anything that I just said. Like somebody that's just flagging for the NFL, and trust me, I do not.
Ah! Working. That's what we'll do. Save the whole thing straight to my hard drive. If I can. Oh, my hard drive's not plugged in. Duh. One of these days I'm gonna turn into a tech nigga and figure all this stuff out.
I ain't got no tech person at work. I gotta figure all that shit out. I'll be, bruh. There's some days where I do more of that than I actually get my work done.
And I'll be telling myself I'm gonna go ahead and just do it one day, but I get busy just working, and by the time I'm done working, looking at the screen for something, like, man, I'm finna chill with my son. Yeah, it's plugged in. There it is. Put it in episode 30 for now. Or can I just make a new folder? Yep.
You put 30.
Good save. Golly. Keisha will be like, damn, I thought y'all started at 4:30. Oh, I got so much work to do tonight, man.
I'm gonna be sitting up watching Game Changer all day tomorrow. Well, at work. Hopefully I'll get something to watch before I gotta go up to the school.
I gotta get home before I start working on this. I gotta cook up because Abe, that nigga Abe already paid me. So I gotta cook up that Kings video and have that posted by tomorrow morning. I know he wanted it up by today. I'm pretty sure he's gonna text me pretty soon. Like, hey, you gonna have that? Like, I got you in the morning, pimp. So I gotta finish that. I gotta finish this. I gotta start. I ain't even started yet. I gotta start this. Gio paid me to come out to one of his properties today and do like a real estate video for him. I gotta do that. And then I can start working on this and to do the podcast. To actually do the podcast audio is hella quick. Just taking out like the stuttering and like if the conversation runs on is quick, but editing the video with all 3 shots.
I don't feel like we ran on today though.
Nah, we didn't. We didn't.
That's something I'm trying to be more conscious of.
Trying to make sure the marker is here. Okay. Well, we'll just put it right there and I'll connect it later. Oh, there we go. Give me more disk space. I need it.
And so it's very easy to throw it off on CTE, and it gives you like a clean reason. Oh, he's got CTE, so he does this. Like with Antonio Brown and Aaron Hernandez. Like, I'm not gonna flag for the NFL. They do a lot of shit wrong, but it ain't that. You know, like.
You said you didn't get a chance to watch the Aaron Hernandez doc?
No, but I mean, I know the story, and I did see the first doc. I haven't seen the Netflix one.
Just for clarity, we're talking about the Aaron Hernandez Netflix documentary that just came out. Aaron Hernandez was a tight end for, I'm sure everybody knows, but just, for continuity. Aaron Hernandez was a tight end for the Patriots who he killed, I think, 2 people in college and another person while he went pro. Or
to kill in college.
There you go.
Attempted to kill somebody.
And that was brushed under the rug so he can go pro. And then while he was a pro, he killed somebody. And then, you have to watch this documentary. You've never seen a woman hold their man down the way he did. I'm sure you've been seeing them memes like get you some, like, bro. She went and got his gun case. While he's in jail, like talked in code and was like, oh yeah, there's a box. I need you to da-da-da-da. Never said a gun box or a gun case or nothing. Told her to go get rid of it. She got off the phone. And they're idiots for not deleting all this like security footage from their house. But it's a full-on video of her like having to pick up a garbage bag like this and walk it out the back door. And you like, bro, it looks like if I grabbed a garbage bag and put this table in there, you could fully see the print and outline of the table. And they're like, is the gun box in there? She's like, oh, I'm not sure. He just told me the trash needed to be taken out, so I took it out. On the stand, fam. There's footage of him after he came back from killing dude. He's walking around, didn't delete the security footage in his own house. There's footage of him walking around in his house with a gun in his hand. He's holding it by the barrel though, so you can only see like the handle of it. It's clear as day that it's a gun. And they like got it enlarged on the screen. They're like, is that a gun in his hand? She's like, I can't really tell. The picture's a little pixely. And then like you can only see one end of whatever item that is he's holding. You can't see the end of it, so it's not really clear for me to see if that's a gun or not. They're like, they did everything to be like, my nigga, you know that's a gun in his hand. Bro, it looked like if he had it like this.
What, is that a shoe?
And we got cameras going. And it looked like, is that a shoe under his arm? Well, I can't see the back of it, so I'm not really sure what that is. That's what she did, fam.
If you're listening to this, Mike has a shoe under his arm as...
like a football almost.
Yeah.
And you can't see
you
the toe.
can clearly see the heel.
Only
of the
see the
shoe.
heel. And they're asking, does your husband have a gun under his arm or have a shoe under his arm? Well, I don't know. If it were a shoe, I would know if I could see the toe of it. But it looks like I don't know what that is. I can't see the whole object. Bro, you've never seen nothing like that. That's why all the memes was going around. Like I couldn't believe that. I'm like, and they didn't lock her up, but it was like, what can you do? You can't see the inside of that bag. You can't see the other end of that object.
Yeah,
man.
She's not sitting up there lying. She's just not telling you what you know is obvious.
Man, and she's giving it up to him on the phone. Every day when more FBI people are coming with warrants looking through the house, she's telling him like, hey, guess what happened? She's like, oh, how you doing, baby? She's like, what you mean how I'm doing? Some more FBI people came knocking on the door because of some shit you did. What you mean how am I doing? And he's like, why are you wilding out on me? He's saying to her, like, why are you speaking to me? She's like, what do you mean why am I speaking to you like this? I'm in here with your kid and the FBI's knocking on the door. Like, what are you talking about? He says to her, I don't see how you could be so mad you still have your freedom. And she's like, what? He's like, all right, fam. Goodbye. He's like, no, it's not goodbye. It's always see you later. She's like, all right, we'll see you later. I'm getting off the phone. So she's holding it down in public. But then when she's talking to him, she's like, my nigga, look what you're putting me through.
Yeah.
Bruh, I've never seen it like that. that was remarkable to see.
Again, another. I mean, we know the story. Aaron, he took his life, air quotes, when he was in prison.
Oh, and fam, like I gotta get into it because you didn't see it. And then they go into him being gay and how he's been gay since high school, or bisexual since high school, and how he had a relationship with his quarterback, and the quarterback is on camera talking. Like, yeah, we used to have sex. Like, not saying it that blunt, but like, it was embarrassing because, like, I mean, he's the star tight end. I'm the quarterback. What does that look like? He's the tight end. What does that look like? And we're for these macho football players, and had a boyfriend or a lover or something when he was in jail that little bit of time before he killed himself. Like, bro, what I didn't like though was that they spent more time. Oh, and they showed like how his dad was some big like macho dude that used to beat him and his mom.
His family was known around from where he's from. Like,
yeah,
they knew what time
and
it was.
so, and again, like you say, it was a perfect potion for him to, you know, be off his rocker a little bit. But I don't, nah, bro. I would say all of his upbringing and all of that was the cause of his actions before I would say CTE.
Oh yeah, and like I would say this as well. Like, yeah, there's a certain type of person that plays football at the highest level, and if you had to type them, it's macho, aggressive, people that don't mind hurting you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people, like, they could probably kick somebody's ass, but the thought of really hurting somebody prevents them from doing what damage they probably could do.
100%.
So, people, you could categorize, in general, football players as abusers, physical abusers. They're not all murderers. They all bang their heads for a living. They're not all murderers. Again, CTE is very, oh, we have CTE, so he did this. It doesn't excuse anything. You still, like, you can be sick and be held accountable for your actions, especially when they're that extreme. If there's somebody with a mental illness out here and they're holding up and being belligerent in a store, they're going to say, okay, this guy needs help. If he then pulls out a knife and slashes the throat of the clerk, he's going to get his help in a cell. We're going to have some people come talk to you while we're keeping you away from the rest of the sensible world. You know what I'm saying? Which was clearly Aaron Hernandez. You know what I mean? I don't, like, even with the first doc that came out, like, closer to the time, like, all this was going on, or the aftermath of all this, everything I hear from the doc that was playing is like they're trying to almost humanize it. I don't like that aspect of it because there are victims in this, bro. This shit ain't victimless. And you out here trying to make it seem like there's a reason for the reason. Like there's a reason, there's an explanation for why he took away my loved one. Nah, bro. Don't hit me with that. Stop that. It's never gonna be okay. There's never gonna be a reason that is cool what he did. He's not a victim in this, bro. He's not. He's not. A lot of foul shit happened to him, bro. He's getting beat up. He felt like he had to be in the closet. All this other stuff. All of that shit is foul. That's stuff that other people deal with and they don't kill people, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, every person of color in this country is oppressed. Does that give us the right to go out here and start doing wild shit? We be like, yo, man, he did this because he was oppressed and he just couldn't. It don't make it okay, bro.
I mean, perfect example. Delonte West.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he didn't play a violent sport where he's banging his head every day, but he was clinically diagnosed bipolar and I believe schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. He's not out here killing people. I mean, he got in a fight on the street the other day. He didn't kill anybody. People fight every day. He didn't kill anybody.
How do you feel about that? This is something I wanted to talk about. I forgot. I'm glad we stumbled upon this. It's actually dope. How do you feel like it's the NBA's job to like maybe give some assistance or help Delonte West get right?
Yes, but for one reason. They have things like NBA Cares and all these different things that they do for that reason. Now, if you work at Bank of America and you fall on hard times, and even if you became the CEO of Bank of America and you made millions of dollars working for Bank of America, and you fall on hard times, you go crazy, you're living on the street now, it is not now Bank of America's job or their responsibility to help you get back on your feet. That's your job. And so I have to be consistent with that. The NBA, they obligated? No. Should their morals step in and make them do that? Especially with all of the different organizations that they already have in place and all the different things that they all the philanthropic work that they already do, then I feel like yes. But before I feel like it's the NBA, the association's responsibility, I feel like it's his former teammates' responsibility. If you love him and you care for him,
if this is a brotherhood, how you said,
right?
Yeah.
And from what everything I looked into it, like I read an article. Cause he's living on the streets in Dallas. I read a thing that said people like have been seeing him on the street for like 2 years now.
Oh yeah, they'd be like, oh yeah, Delonte be over there. Somebody go get him.
Nobody that plays for the Dallas Mavericks knows that. Mark Cuban doesn't know that. Like I'm not saying that in the NBA. I'm not saying the NBA. Maybe the Players Association. Maybe they have a responsibility too. Maybe yeah. So yeah, you know what? I believe that. I believe that the Players Association has a responsibility there, not the NBA. The Players Association does.
I think that's
especially if he was a part of the Players Association and paying his dues and doing all that.
Well, they all do. They have to. Like it's
everyone
like,
has to be a part of the Players Association. I thought it was like a union almost. Like you can be a part of the union or not be a part of the union. You know more than me. I'm just asking.
There's few guys that want to operate outside of it. It's the voice that speaks for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and so then
it is their form of a union, but they do, like, you want to have that protection. You don't want to be going against the league by yourself. More so than like what a union does. A union is like, it's almost like insurance with a regular job. It's like, if something happens, you know what I'm saying? Your terms and everything on a regular job, those are already spelled out when you sign the paperwork. The NBA is ever changing. And the Players Union is there to make sure you know what's coming down the pipe, to speak for you, because we're constantly in negotiation with these guys.
I think the Players Association does have some type of obligation to step in there. I think the one player, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm just being open, honest, and candid. I think the only player that should not care is LeBron. Everybody else, because that's just too big a violation. Like I'm not
if that is true.
And I believe it is, because I saw another documentary where he was saying that's why he didn't name his son after him, because he was like, everything that I've been through in the league. And he even said in the documentary that was like, while he was still playing, he was like, oh, people saying stuff like, oh, that's Delonte West Jr., his dad had sex with LeBron James' mom. He himself said that, and this has been out for a couple of years, and I just saw it the other day when all this stuff came out. You know, I don't even really like saying that, because that's the nigga's mom. I'm gonna take that out. But LeBron is the one player that I feel like is like, he can whatever happens to him could go ahead and happen to him. I may feel a way about it, but I can't be mad at you for feeling that way. But I think the Players Association does have some type of an obligation to help him out.
I just don't know what that help looks like. I don't like
get him in a mental health facility. That's it.
If
he doesn't want to stay, and if he leaves if he feels like if he leaves before it's his time and he walks out because they can't like
Yeah.
If he wants to leave, he can leave. You know what I'm saying? So if they help get him there, and then he leaves, and it's like, all right, bro, like we tried. Even then, I feel like you should try and maybe go help him again. He's not in his right mind. But after you've put your resources together, which wouldn't take much. All these niggas is millionaires, and players associations has millions of dollars. You can easily get him somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like that should happen. Now, if he leaves on his own, then that's a different thing.
I don't think that they have to do nothing for nobody. I think and I kind of feel like you like feel this too. Like, it would be a good look if they did that. It would be a kind gesture. Like, I don't think
I'm putting myself in their shoes.
And this,
I'm putting myself in their shoes.
I think they're trying to make.
I would feel like I have to.
So, do you do that when an NBA player is going broke or has a failed business, or do you only do it when they're extremely out here and it's public? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of NBA players that if they do that, they're gonna say, "Well, I want some help too. I got 3 failed businesses after my career."
That's different.
You know what I'm saying?
Different.
Like,
he has something in his mental that isn't working correctly. He has something that hasn't been properly dealt with. That's different. Your failed business, and especially if you still like your failed business, we can figure out. I'm pretty sure we could look through all the inner workings of these businesses that you started and figure out why they didn't work. Like, even when, I mean, it's just a little bit off topic, but it's kind of the same. When Sway was talking to Kanye about, he's like, I did do what you did. I did put up my own money to start a clothing line, and I lost thousands of dollars on a smaller scale. And he's like, but it ain't no Ralph though. It's like, we can look into Sway why that didn't work out, and if it was your fault, it's just your fault. A mental problem isn't his fault. That's something he was born with.
And I feel it.
So he needs help, and if he hasn't gotten that help, then someone should help him.
I just think that I think that there's a lot of things. Okay, so like, let's say, I mean, I just yeah, like, we're bringing up a lot of hypotheticals, but I'm saying, like, let's say a basketball player gets to a domestic dispute and he says, "Oh, I wasn't mentally right." Like, I think it's a slippery slope when you're saying like, "Yo, I think they should." It would be kind if they did. It would be extremely kind if they did. It ain't their job to get nobody right. It's not. It ain't even their job to try. It would be a good look.
And that's why I said I'm putting myself in their shoes. The way my morals and my values and beliefs are set up, there's certain things that I feel like I have to do, and then there's certain things that I feel like I absolutely cannot be a part of. If I see somebody that I once called my brother, and we just spoke about somebody who I was like, I don't care if we ever are ever cool again. Mm. But I once called him my brother. If he falls on hard times, I'm gonna help him in that hard time. And after that hard time, if I feel like I don't want to deal with him anymore, then I'm not gonna deal with him anymore. But if I once called you family, I gotta be there, bro. Mm. Even if, like I said, even if I help you, you get back on your feet, and I'm like, all right, fam. Yep. Take it easy. Don't call me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there's some type there's some type of an obligation there. Same way when I was just talking to the dude that I just got a contract from a media platform out in LA to film the rest of Mikey Williams games I was telling you about. And he and I was telling him how a certain travel ball team out here leapfrogged another one as far as like being the best out here because they put their team on the right circuits and they got the right branding and all that.
Like 10 years now, but yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's the dude that he knew the whole jump. Mm. He's all the way out in LA. Mm. He's like, oh, that's the dude that be doing X, Y, and Z. Mm. And I was like, wow, fam, I didn't know you know that. Mm. 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 And I said to him, I was like, I know people personally, and I have friends that they left their kids in that program after that happened. I know a lot of people involved on both sides, so forgive me. I gotta keep y'all in the dark on this one. I can, but I'm not gonna give the dirty details.
It'll be irresponsible.
Extremely irresponsible. But I was saying to him, I was like, bro, the people that I know personally and the morals that they claim to stand on and what they claim to believe in and what's most important to them. Funny. When I saw that they left their kids in that program after all that wild went down, it made me look at them a certain way. Mm-hmm. And I'm bringing it all up to say, I said to him in the conversation, I don't care what that club does. I don't care how many kids they send D1 or to the Ivy League. When that happens, me and mine are getting the hell out of Dodge. There's certain things that my morals just don't line up with, fam.
And there's certain things that I can't risk. And this is my thing with Delonte West. Like, that's why I say it would be kind. Because now if Delonte West, let's say they do get him some help and he ends back out in that life, do they have to do it again? Because morally you would be in the same place. You could say, I tried once already, but if you got that love, if you once called him this, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's
Right,
just a
but-
damn.
but
And
at
now
that-
if they start doing that, every player that seems to have a problem, I'm not saying a problem like Delonte's, right? I'm not saying I'm not gonna act like he's the only player that has those kind of issues and that has ended up in that kind of life. We hear about these stories all the time. They're just not Delonte West. They're not just out here and it's not a video of them getting in fights and shit.
And
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it would be nice. I'll just leave it at that. It would be nice if the NBA would do something. It would be nice if the player association or an individual player or organization or whoever, it would be nice if they did that. But that's going out on a serious limb. That's setting a precedent for a business that runs in a public face. That is setting a precedent. If you come on hard times and you have these kind of problems, we will lend a hand. And that's to me, that's dangerous. Like, you open yourself up to be having to help a lot. There's probably, if that happened, we probably hear about a ton more stories that would be like.
I think it would be commendable.
But you can't get everybody right. And now it's like the family member. How much do I help you before I gotta step away?
Well,
and you're gonna get killed for stepping away.
Okay, so then let's go into not rescue mode. Let's go into preventative action mode. Why don't these teams?
That's different. Why don't
and if that's one way to help, we get Delonte, we get him the help he needs, and then we start the conversation of the NBA needs some therapists on staff. Maybe not, if every team doesn't have one, then maybe the league has like 5 or 6.
Well, now they do.
And that's what I'm okay.
Well, since Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan and other people,
And that's another thing I was gonna say. Delonte West came up in an NBA and in a time where people didn't talk about those types of problems. Yeah. Shout out to people like Charlemagne, and he's the one that comes to mind right away. But there's a lot of people now, like even Jay-Z in 444. He was talking about how he went to therapy and all this stuff. Like, I mean, it was probably like marriage counseling and relationship therapy, but people are more open about the fact that they go to therapy now.
About their struggles, period.
And about just mental health, period. Like, I've heard, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it would have been dope if we could have got some of that. I mean, Mac Miller's thing was more drugs, but if we could have, I'm pretty sure some of that could have been helped with therapy.
Well, you hear it in the music. He was crying out for help.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I said, shout out to the people who are being like, no, bro, go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. But Delonte came up, he didn't come up in that time in that NBA. And I think, though, like, you're right, you can't go and help everybody. But I think, like, to get back to the question you said about, like, oh, what if he ends up back out there? And it's like, you don't, I don't want to, it sounds bad, like you're just turning your back on him, but how many times have Mom would say it all the time, you hear people say you can't help people who don't want to help themselves.
No,
you look like you want help. You look like you need help. And we've provided it now. And now you're back on this trail again.
Yeah.
Do you want it? Did you really want it? Like, what's going on here?
And I agree, and I think in an interpersonal relationship, that's cool. I think that when you're a business and you're a business that is so public facing, everything you do is a precedent. That's why everything's in negotiation and discussion with them, because they know as soon as this hits, this is the standard, homie. And we need to make sure we get this right. So going out and helping Delonte, although would be nice, would be great for him, might not be great for us. Because how many players are out here broke, desolate, and mental problems that we don't know about, and that now are going to come out? And now the media is going to be looking for these guys, and now we got to extend the arm to all of them.
Is that so wrong, though?
I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm saying as a business, that's something you got to think of every time you do it. And business wise, it would say, and that's yes, it is wrong. We got to spend money to do all this shit.
And that's why I said put both things in place. I don't want to say platforms, but have resources for the players who are already all jacked up, but then also put more things in place to prevent it from happening. I think that's the solution.
No, I think that's the solution too. And I'll say this about the NBA: it is wrong, if this doesn't spur them to put in programs or to do certain things. Like, I've thought forever, and you can vouch for this, I thought forever that the NBA should be putting a percentage of their money away that they can't even touch till they're retired.
Yeah. You've been very consistent with that since like middle school.
Because now if Delonte gets out on that, he wasn't even able to spend all his money up.
Mm-hmm.
There is something there that his family maybe has, maybe his wife or whoever else has access to his money. Now they have something to pull from.
But then what if you're somebody like D Wade or like LeBron, who's like, look, fam, I got this. I'm gonna invest my money very wisely. I don't need you to do nothing for me.
That's fine. We're still gonna do it.
No, I disagree. I think what should be done there is, and from what I understand, Stephen A. and other people, they do have those things where like they talk to the rookies about staying away from certain things.
Oh yeah.
Not engaging in certain things and putting your money up. But maybe there needs to be more of that. Or maybe some type of financial consultant on each team. Maybe that's a lot. But I mean
they all have financial advisors as soon as they get into all that money. And I think that
there's still people getting jacked up. Them people ain't got their best interest. If we're talking about what the NBA should do, if we're going to talk about what the NBA should do, and we're going to assume that the NBA is going to have the best interest, then I think that's what should be done. Because we've already seen these players have agents and financial people screw them.
Well, you always run that risk, and they also talk to them about. They give them a book. Dame has told me this when he was trying out for teams. Hand him a book. These are the chicks. This is where they be at. This is what they into. That it's also in there why you should stay away from them. They're trying to get you, and all these niggas get got. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain amount that it's gonna happen, but just because people are gonna make mistakes, and some people don't care, they gonna roll the dice. It ain't gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that at least if you put money away, it's not hurting a nigga that makes a couple $1 million. $100,000 maybe a year is put away, or maybe $1 million, depending on how big your contract is. But a percentage of it is put away that you can't touch. We're gonna make sure that when you leave this league, you're going to have something. It ain't gonna be on us while you broke.
I just don't think that's realistic because it's their money, and you can't put a grown person's money away for them. You can maybe say, hey, look, we have this. Maybe that's what should be done. Maybe they should tell them like, hey, look, we have this program to where like if you decide you want to be a part of this program, a portion of each game check you get gets put away, and you don't get to touch it until year X, Y, and Z. Maybe that should be in place, but nothing that's like mandatory, obligated that you can't touch this. It should be an option because you can't tell a grown person what to do with their money.
I agree with that, but it would be different if they're getting paid $50K a year, or making $100,000 a year.
Nah, that's us being broke saying.
No. I feel what you're saying. I understand when you have something like this. You know what I'm saying? Like people with money, they do this shit. They put money in a savings account, and their bank, in the type of savings that it is, their bank says, "Yo, you put your money in here. We can't let you touch it for 10 years. We agreed on this."
But that's money that they made and then took to the bank.
No, but I'm saying
that's not their job.
But I'm saying if this is in the contract and you sign it, you've just signed for us to push a part of that over.
I agree with that.
And it's fine. And now if you want it, I'm sorry. We negotiated this, bro.
I was speaking to the
deal it with your next contract.
I was speaking to the first point you made about something like where they absolutely cannot touch it, and it's like it's not even a negotiation. You sign this contract, a percentage of each check goes there, and you don't have a say. You can't do that. Now again, that sounds like more like what I suggested. But it's like, look, we have this program in place to where if you put a piece of each game check here, or at the end of every year when you're doing your taxes, you put some money here, and you can't touch it. Like that's what Iverson did, but he did it on his own.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I think it's different when shit you don't know.
Allegedly, I don't know that for sure.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'll say my hard line would be for various reasons. Like I don't think it's nothing like the NBA being evil or nothing like that. It's just, fam, we can't be in the business of trying to save every player that ends up on hard time. That is a daunting task. We got a lot of shit to do. We got a lot of shit to do. We got a lot of shit we trying to do. And to be honest, we paid you motherfuckers a lot of money. I can't help you if you trick it all off. Like, I'm sorry that you're in that spot. I'm sorry that you have those problems, bro. And I really, really want to help. But what am I supposed to do? Get you in a mental spot? What if you get back out there? I'm supposed to do it again? Like, it just becomes like I'm trying to think as a business. They got to think not just about Delonte, They gotta think about how many cases are out there that they don't know about. And now now we just set a precedent that we're gonna go out there and we're gonna extend the hand. What if a couple times we get bit? We can't be doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the business model will be like, like that's why I said it'd be nice. It would be nice.
You gotta look at it like this. You're a coach. A women's coach, a girls coach at the high school level. How many times have you told me that you've told your players, I don't want you to be at no party wilding out. I don't want you to be doing nothing stupid. But if you find yourself in a situation where you can't get yourself home, or you can't drive right now because you've been doing things you shouldn't be doing, I'm gonna lecture you while I'm driving you home, but come and call me and I'll come and get you home. Right? How many times do you think that'll happen? You'll always do that, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll do that 10 times and be like, yo, I can't keep helping these girls, man. She gonna have to get her drunk ass home by herself.
But no, but
that's not gonna happen.
But that's
You're
what
gonna
I'm
continue
saying.
to help, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The NBA doesn't want to be in a situation where they have to continually do that. You know what I'm saying? I've made the decision for myself that I will always be that person.
Also, though, you've also told me that you told those players, if I find out you're doing this, I'm going to deal with you in practice, and you're probably not going to play. That's something in place to prevent it. You're putting the prevention in place, but you're also offering the help. That's all I'm suggesting that the NBA do.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's for me as an individual. For a business entity to say this is what we're gonna do, I'm down with the preventative stuff. But just to say that we'll extend the hand, and if you do it again, it ain't on us. Like, it's dangerous. You're gonna get killed for that. Like, they gotta work in the media. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna get killed for that shit. If Delonte ends up back there, people will say, well, why aren't the NBA doing this? You know what I'm saying? They don't. Those are all things that they'd rather not do.
I don't think so. I think they would. Okay, but those are gonna be ignorant people saying that. I think.
It'll be a fair question. It would be a fair question. Well, why wouldn't you do it this time? Because you did it before. Well, you did it the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a fair question. Even if you dislike it, or the answer is like you might not like the answer, it is a fair question to ask.
I guess it can be. I guess it is a fair question to ask. But then when the answer is, I've helped him. Do I have to keep doing this for the rest of his life, or is he taking advantage of me now? I think you would ask the girls on the team the same thing. Like, do you really need my help, or is this a mistake that you keep making, or is this what you do because you know Coach Steph is gonna bail you out? Those are two different things. I've offered the help. I keep helping. You don't want to help yourself.
And I'm saying, to get to that point, the NBA has to keep extending themselves. And players retire, players get cut every year. They could have 10 cases of that a year or none.
Myself,
in a given year.
I don't with an organization like the NBA and all the money they have. What's up? Oh, we got plenty of time. You see the 806 hours?
Oh yeah, I'm bugging.
We got hell. That's why I got all excited when we got plenty of time. Dang. What was I saying?
You're saying that's why you don't get all. You said that's why you don't get all excited. No, my bad. That's what you're talking about the time. You were saying that's because I had just said that they'd have to extend themselves every time. Like, and I made that decision for me that I will do that for my players. But
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I jumped back in.
That's what I was saying.
I don't want to lose it again. I don't. With the NBA and how big of a platform it is, and how everybody knows about the NBA and how dope they are, and all the money and all the resources they have, I really don't envision a situation to where they help get somebody on their feet. I could see it happening, and then they're back out there. I think though, maybe you say the NBA shouldn't have to do it twice. Some people need that kind of help, but I honestly don't see a reality where they get Delonte West the help he needs. He's back out there wilding. They help him again, and then he goes back to wild out. I don't see that happening. I don't. Now, in your defense, the NBA has to look at that and be like, well, what if we help him and he keep going back? We just got to help this nigga for the rest of his life? It's a valid question. But then my response to that would be is, do we really think that's what's going to happen? Like I said, I might be naive, and if I had a business, I'd be throwing away all kind of money and resources trying to help everybody. But I would try to help.
Yeah, and I just, like, and I wouldn't. And
understandable.
Because of that risk, not because of lacking compassion. Nobody's looking at Delonte West and saying, come on, bro, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. This nigga clearly needs help. You know what I'm saying? Who's the person to give him the help? The NBA ain't gonna do it. So let's just talk about the Players Association. if I'm the head of the Players Association and I'm sitting at the head of the table, I'm saying we can't put ourselves at this kind of risk. How many other players are out here like this? We know about Delonte. How many others are out here? And are we going to help all of them? And if they slip again, or if Delonte slips again, are we going to help again? What's the cap on when we're going to stop? And how do we get out of that clean? Without no backlash, without nobody asking us questions that we'd rather not answer. The answer is don't help them. We've done a lot for you, Delonte, and we tried to help you along the way. We put measures in place, and because of this situation, you know what? Players of the future, players to come, we have more. Look at him as an example, and this is why we have this shit here.
Say next.
This is why we have this shit here, because you don't want to end up Delonte.
Granted,
If you're dealing with something mentally, go talk to the therapist we have on staff. If you're not comfortable with that, come talk to us behind closed doors. We'll get you private help, because I think that's a slippery slope too. Like, and this just opens up like a lot of different conversation. Like, I think it's, although I'm down for the NBA to have people on staff that the team could talk to, I also see the flip side of that of, you work for us, bro. You work for the team. What did he tell you in that meeting?
No.
Yeah, you might be bound by confidentiality, but
No.
I signed your check.
Nope.
Oh, bruh, you don't think people will put that kind of pressure on a therapist? I think it happens all the time.
I think that's wrong.
Oh, it is wrong, but I think I can see the devil side of it. Yeah, we're giving you help, but me personally, like, I don't want to go tell the person employed. It's the same thing with team doctors. You're incentivized to get them back out there, not necessarily have their best interests at heart. You're a doctor, and you're supposed to have their best interests at heart. But the person that signs your checks is telling you they got to play. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's dangerous. So we have a therapist on staff if you're comfortable doing that. And if you're not, we'll help you, give you options of people that you could talk to. And then you could go talk to them. And we're not paying those people.
I think the furthest that should go is the therapist saying, I don't think he's ready to get back on the court yet. I don't think he's in a mental space that suggests that he's ready to be playing basketball at the highest levels or be out just living life, period.
I'm just talking about the potential for that pressure.
I feel you. I think that's where it should stop. Is he good enough to hoop? No, he's not. Okay, that's all you need to know. You don't need to know exactly what was said in there.
I mean,
that defeats the whole purpose.
No, we don't.
That's why
they don't.
For a lot, especially black people. That's why a lot of black people didn't even want to go to a therapist. Number one, we don't believe in it, and then it's like, man, this doctor finna be telling everybody my business.
No, and I think that's.
It should be, is he ready to hoop or is he not? That's all the team should know.
No, I feel you.
They don't need the deets.
I feel you, bro. I just don't think that that's reality, that they're not going to want to know more. I don't like...
Of course they want to know.
No, and I'm saying the potential for that pressure on a therapist, which I agree that they need to have people on staff that, like, when we're on road trips, there should be somebody mentally checking these dudes' health. Living in that kind of spotlight, doing all that, I ain't never done it. I know the pressure that I feel working in a small town of Ramona. The pressure that I feel to live up to what they think that I'm capable of. And there's been nights, and I'm going to just keep it a bean. There's been nights this season because we're struggling that I've come home and have really, really felt it. It would have been nice to have somebody to go talk to, bro. But I don't want that person working for nobody in Ramona. I don't. Because you're inclined to tell them. And they can say, oh, it's confidential, all of that. Whatever, bro. Tell somebody a secret. You really expect them to keep just that?
No.
There's few people that I think will do that. I think you're one of those people. I think my wife's one of those people. I think Derek's one of those people. Isaac's one of those people. That's it. That's it, bro. Mom's going to tell dad. Dad's going to tell mom. Bree going to tell Aunt Mel. It's just, they care about me. They want other people to be like, yo, something's wrong with Steph. They might do it out of the kindness of their heart, but I don't want to get now, bro. And now you take that same idea and you put, not only is that person, they want to know because I made an investment here. I cut your checks. Don't tell me nothing. Let me see your notes. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
To kind of like move, because we've been on this topic for a minute, to kind of move away for a little bit. That exact point what you just said about like everybody, and I learned that not really the hard way, it's just something that that I've noticed over the time. Everybody has a go-to person, and no matter everybody, you could tell them, they could tell you, I'm not gonna tell anybody. They have at least one person that they're gonna tell it to.
Bro, a perfect example.
And that's why I don't give for number one, when someone tells me a secret, it's between us. Like I have and I've told you this before, when I was in high school, especially because everybody was growth spurts, getting muscles and everything. I was still 4'11", weighed 80 pounds when we was a freshman in high school. And y'all was all getting girls, and so the only attention I got from girls at that time, they would just confide in me and tell me stuff going on in their house or what's going on with their boyfriend. And stuff that's happened that I still have never told a soul. And I can tell you right now, I'll never see these people again, and I've never told a soul. And you know what I'm saying? And that's rare. I just don't. I agree with you though. I don't. That's why I don't tell my business.
It's just to the point, bro. Like, and I feel like if I told you, don't tell nobody, I'd have to specify, including Keisha. Cause number one, when me and Bert have both done this. We've told people, like, I've told Isaac, he's told me stuff, don't tell nobody. I'm like, bro, you do understand that. Like, you tell me something heavy, that's a lot of pressure for me to hold that too. I'm gonna tell my wife, bro. She's not gonna tell nobody, dog. Like, I gotta be able to get that off too. You know what I'm saying? If I told you something, I expected you to. I don't care that Keisha knows. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I expect that. And now you put in the element that they're cutting your check and they're incentivized. Like, the team might want to have your best interest at heart, but they also want to get return on their investment. I'm paying you a lot of money, Kevin Love. I know you're going through it. When are you going to be ready? You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's unfair. I don't think it's unfair. I think it's like the nasty part of doing business at that level. That's the nasty side of the NBA. But I don't think that it's unfair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that it's unfair. I think the list that you could go to, that it could potentially go to, is why I don't like it. But like, if it were me, and this is me speaking from the kindness of my heart, if I own a team, I'm gonna ask. If I own a team, I'm not asking nobody shit. It's gonna be mandatory that there's a therapist on every road trip. It's gonna be mandatory. That person's in the office every day and getting paid a salary. Do not come to me and say that you're dealing with something, and now it's a problem.
I think if it were me, I'd
go to them and talk to somebody.
I'd have the therapist in town. Like if we're the Houston Rockets, we have a therapist that's in Houston, because you may work.
You don't want to be walking out the therapist and somebody else is walking out.
Right. You may be the team's therapist, but you may work at a doctor's office here in Houston as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and maybe it should be a part of it to where if you play for Houston, but we're in Utah. When we land in Utah, if you really need to speak, then you can speak to the therapist that Utah has on staff. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe something like that. But I don't think we should make the therapist travel. That's
but see, no, you traveling.
I feel it.
You traveling.
Team doctor do.
Because
doctor. Yeah, I feel
because it. Again, I cut the check.
I feel it.
Get on the plane.
Right. We paying you enough where you don't need to do nothing. I feel it.
Get on the plane.
I feel it.
My investment needs somebody to talk to.
Right.
Get your ass on the plane. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're right.
It's cool. But and that's why I say it'll also be the same thing. It's like, what do you say to you?
And you know what I mean? And what you're saying about my investment is why. How do I say that? It should be more than just it's my investment.
Oh, for sure.
And that's why. I'm
talking about the harshest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think there are people that own teams that care about their players. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Mark Cuban clearly cares. And even if he doesn't care, he does a good job making it look like he does. You know what I'm saying? And I think that too. But even if he doesn't, he makes it a good look. You know what I mean? But there are those people that's gonna say, "Yo, fam, like I'm paying a lot of money." You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just we can move on. Like, we've been here for a minute, but like I can see how that gets clouded. But prayers up for Delonte West. I hope he does get the help that he needs. It's clearly not just financial. You know what I mean? Like, oh, did you hear though, before we leave, the cop that recorded him got like suspended or fired or something like that. Like he's under review or something like that.
He should be
like,
fired.
Yeah, and people are just talking like, yo, that's Delonte West from the what's the name? You know what I mean? Like everybody knows who this is. It's different if that's your body cam.
He should be fired.
You sitting up you sitting up here recording that man. That's on your you're a public citizen. At that point, that's your.
You can't even
property.
do that at work.
Yeah.
You can't even do that at work. You can't pull out your phone and record stuff. I've never been a cop, but any job I ever had, you're not supposed to have your phone in your hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? While we talking about Delonte West, former NBA players, let's talk about a couple future NBA players. First, let's start with Bronny. Why niggas throwing orange pills at him when he just trying to hoop, man? That's crazy.
Because fans are stupid.
And I don't think it was that kid.
Oh, I think it was that kid.
I
think it was a kid. The kid came out and said he's a LeBron James fan, he's a Bronny fan. He called his name and he didn't turn around, so he tried to get his attention through an orange pill at him.
Okay, I didn't hear all of that. I just seen the beginning of the little apology. Yeah. I thought it was like an adult and like to save face, he like made his kid.
How do you feel? How do you feel about LeBron's response to that?
Remind me what he said, because I don't fully remember.
LeBron said...
This nigga Dame had 50.
LeBron, he tweeted, hate doesn't have an age limit. James gang, we're built for this. I'm always going to have your back, son. And then when asked about it, like, it was pregame or postgame, he said, I mean, people are crazy. People do crazy things. I would love to see him do that when my son's paying attention. Let me ask the question in a different way. Do you think that LeBron James making his son a social media sensation has put any fuel on that fire? Because he is a freshman on a nationally ranked team that doesn't play a whole bunch, that don't get crazy stats, but he's bigged up to be a star. Which he very well might be. But I think that the fanatics, the fanatics come out because he's a social media star. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan had kids and they wasn't blown up like a different time. But there's other players that are in this era.
They weren't that good either.
But I'm saying Michael Jordan could have blown him up as big as he was motherfucking Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
But there's a reason why some people don't talk about what their kids are doing. You know what I'm saying? Matt Barnes is very open about, and I've seen his kids play once. They were at the same tournament as us. They're all right. You know what I'm saying?
I think though that if Michael Jordan's sons, even without social media, I think if someone were to throw something at his son while he was inbounding the ball during the game, I think that would have made news. It may not have been as big of a deal because there was no social media, but it for sure would have made news.
But I think it would have made news too. But I think that people like. He can't be just a freshman, and there's no way he's gonna be he's the son of LeBron James. But when you're putting him up, and you know what I'm saying, he's put on a pedestal that he probably hasn't earned yet, because he's LeBron James' son. But also, there's a lot of your daddy's cameras following you around everywhere you go. Everything you're doing is tracked. People do crazy stuff to celebrities, and there's a reason why celebrities try to keep their kids out of the light. Instead, Bron's kind of pushed his kids towards it. Do you have any feelings do you think that's right or wrong? I guess is what I'm asking.
If he did push his kids towards the spotlight, then I think that would be wrong, but I don't think that's what he's done.
I think
he
I think that your kid having a YouTube, your young daughter having a YouTube channel and doing all this stuff, yes, these are things that people do, but people in your situation typically don't put their kids out there because there's so much scrutiny that comes with that. Because people do shit, like throw shit at people on the sideline of games.
That's valid, but I wouldn't say that he's pushing them to the. Do you think Bronny just now wanted an Instagram? He wasn't allowed to have an Instagram because his dad wouldn't let him.
No,
And the show that his daughter has now, like he and his wife are on the show. It's not like she's just.
No. I'm not saying that they're not a part of it or nothing like that. I'm saying just the mere fact of having it and who you are opens you up to a certain amount.
I don't think he's pushing them to the spotlight. I think he's allowing them to pursue their interests, and because he is who he is, there's a lot of eyes and cameras on him. I don't think he's pushing them to the spotlight.
I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate because I don't either. For sure. I don't either.
For sure.
But I can see the argument, because I've talked about this with a couple people. I can see the argument that Not that you brought it on yourself, but like one person said to me, like, don't act like this is some kind of hate. The kid don't hate y'all, bruh. He's a fanatic. Fan is short for fanatic. Fanatics do dumb shit. You blow your son up a little bit more than he probably should be because you are who you are and you can. And nobody's going to tell you can't do it.
How does he blow his son up to be more than he should be?
His cameras following him around. Undefeated cameras are following him everywhere he goes. He's a star. I see him on Instagram as much as I see Mikey Williams. He ain't on the same level as that kid.
I mean, maybe because
He's not. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can see the argument. And people say, like, this happens, this kind of stuff happens to everybody that is, one, a star. And he's the son of a star. And especially when they're pushed a little bit. It don't got to be a lot. But I can see the argument that some people say, like, what do you think is going to happen? This is a regular high school team, not a regular high school team.
So you don't think that orange peel would fit? I'm not really understanding what you're saying. Like, cameras would be there whether if they're undefeated cameras or ESPN or there's a lot of kids that are probably higher profile players that ain't getting the same coverage. And it's because your daddy got some influence. You played a game in the Basketball Hall of Fame, fam. But that's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's not to say that his dad is pushing him into the spotlight, though.
Whether it's intentional or unintentional, it is, though. And I think that, and like I said, and I can see the argument to where they're saying, like, yo, and this kind of shit, like,
and to people that, I haven't seen anything come out on Undefeated with Bronny on it. I'm saying,
okay, like, Rick Bucher talks a lot about this. He said, Bron does a good job of putting the right face on it. It's all ran through Sierra Canyon. All of it's ran through his school. But Bron has influence. The schedule got changed so he could make a game. Like, they're playing in the Basketball Hall of Fame. No other high school team is doing that. This is clearly your dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, your dad has some pull. It's fine. It's cool. But this is what happens when your dad has pull and he uses it. Fanatics come out and they do dumb shit. Just like when people try to run on football fields and touch football players, or run on a baseball field and try to grab a ball or some shit like that. People do dumb shit. Now your son's a victim of it. But
can we put this on a crazy fan, or can we just put this on an immature kid?
I think it's both. It's an immature kid. It's a crazy fan.
I don't
like son was like 8 or something like that.
I don't think he's a crazy fan. I think he's just an immature kid.
I think he was starstruck.
Sure.
And people do dumb shit when they get. It's the same reason that a singer could walk up to a woman, touch her face, and she faint.
Or he might not have thought he'd get caught. Like, bro, I'm not
talking about like his motivation. I'm talking about this is what happens to people that are in that position, and maybe some of that wouldn't come his way if he didn't have a little bit of push.
Things like that have happened to people, but like we played in a first round playoff game here, inbound the ball on the sideline, and somebody's tugging at your shirt trying to pull your shorts down. Is that a crazy fan? Is that somebody that because you play for Orange Glen, or because you're Stephon Rowan, because you play, I don't want to say our coach's name, but you play for this coach or whatever, like, people just do stupid stuff at sports games. No. I've been at all of Mikey's games. These people underrated. If he's underrated, then who's better than him at his age? No, he's not underrated. I see grown men standing in the bleachers, on the hardwood in front of the bleachers, screaming the craziest stuff to these kids, and he's 15. Is this because of who his dad is? Because of who he is?
No, and that's what I'm
saying.
People
just do stupid stuff at sports games,
and that's what I'm saying. And who is Bronny James?
I hear you.
Mikey Williams?
I hear you. That makes sense.
With all of that talent and ability, has earned some of that ire from people.
All of it.
Yeah, for sure. No, people go too far, and that's what I'm saying. Some.
Oh, ire. Okay, I thought you. Okay. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, he's earned that. He's that good.
You're right.
Now, look at y'all. Yeah, give me that. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like.
I hear you.
Like, last time I checked, me and Darius was checking homeboy stats. Bronny played 8 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bam. Besides his last name, besides his name, and who's following him, he's a regular ass, very good freshman. That's not really playing on a nationally ranked team. Don't nobody as good as him. Like, and I've heard the arguments like, well, you set him up on this all-star team and it's all of this. Like, I'm not with all of that. People saying, oh, Bron shouldn't be doing this. Yo, you got pool, use that shit. But understand that some of this shit comes with it. some of this shit does come with it. And no, nobody should be throwing shit at nobody at a game.
And you don't think LeBron understands that it comes with it? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying that it ain't hate, Bron. It ain't hate. The kid clearly came out and said that he don't hate, and he jumped the gun on it. If it happened, he heard about it. He said, "Boom! I wish he would do that when my son paying attention." That's regular dad shit. I'm not killing him for none of it. I'm just saying, when you go and you say hate, he's not doing that because he hates y'all, bruh.
That's a hater thing to do, though.
If what the kid is saying is true, he's saying he wants to get his favorite high school players' attention. That ain't hate.
And maybe that is hate.
That's not hate, bro. It's not hate.
You told me the kid said he got upset that Bronny didn't hear him, right?
Yeah.
That's hate. You mad because I didn't hear you call my name? Even if I did hear you call my name, I'm playing a basketball game, fam.
No, Mike,
sit
this
there,
is what
eat your
I'm
orange, and watch me shoot this ball.
No, this is what I'm saying. The place that it's coming from is fanaticism. It's not, fuck this nigga. He's not doing that. He's like, bro, like, in the moment, he's, oh my God, like, he's a celebrity to him. It's the same reason that Michael Jackson would sing as a child, would sing to grown women, and they would break down and cry and faint.
You hate the fact that you called my name and I didn't turn around and acknowledge you. That's hate, bro. I'm not saying you hate me or you are a hater. In that moment, that's what a hater does, fam.
No, bro. And LeBron has to understand the difference.
Sure.
And instead of coming out here and saying it's hate,
so what should he do?
Get the full. I'm down with what he said. I would love to see homie do that when my son's paying attention. I bet he wouldn't throw shit at him.
So you're just mad at the hater comment.
Yeah, I'm mad at the victim, like the victimhood shit. Y'all ain't victims, nigga. You brought this shit on yourself.
He's a victim of a orange peeling.
Yeah, I feel like I just like you know me. Like I do a lot.
I'm not gonna tell nobody how to react, fam. If I see somebody throw something at my son, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm gonna go over there and hurt him, especially if it's a kid, but. I probably would have reacted the same way if I'm LeBron.
And as your brother, and if you were living in that media spotlight, I would tell you, it's in your best interest to wait and see. Let's get the full story on this before you start calling motherfuckers haters and talk. It's an 8-year-old kid, dude. You don't even look good as a 30-something-year-old man calling an 8-year-old a hater.
Maybe he didn't know it was an 8-year-old.
No, exactly. I'm saying wait and find out.
I'm not finna wait. I'm finna go out and defend my son. I'm not waiting for nothing.
Mike, this is what I'm saying.
I'm finna speak up for me and mine. I'm not waiting for the story to come out.
But you don't have to talk about the people involved. You don't.
And you didn't have to throw orange at my little nigga.
No, of course, bro. Of course. Nobody's condoning what he did, and I think that's where it gets cloudy.
But you're condemning what LeBron did.
No, I know. I'm only condemning making him a victim, saying it's hate. He don't hate your son. He just said he loved him. He just said he loves him. He said he loves you. He's one of your fans. You just called one of your fans a hater. You called an 8-year-old fan of yours a hater, LeBron. It's not a good look. Wait to get the whole story. There's a thin line between love and hate. There's a famous saying, or whatever, movie, all that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, okay, this is the way to put it. LeBron could come out and say,
people that have ever hated LeBron, they love him. They.
Oh, I don't think that.
Bro. Okay,
not
love him,
there's
but
a thin line.
They hate him because he is great, and there is some love there. Why do you love Kobe?
Yes.
Because he's great. You love him even more because you're a Lakers. I'm not talking about you, but I'm people in general. You love him even more because you're a Laker fan. He plays for your team, and he's putting on for your team, and then he became one of the greatest players of all time while he's wearing your uniform. That is love. You hate LeBron because you feel like he's challenging what your guy has. That's love, bro. You're acknowledging that he's that great to make the opinion of your guy be changed a little bit. If you feel like Kobe's the GOAT, and now there's this guy LeBron that's challenging that. If you hate him, there's an acknowledgement that you know that he's great enough to challenge your guy's greatness. That's love, bro.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying I think it would be, I don't think that the route to take, I think that there's a way to defend your son. I think there's a way to be a loving, supporting father.
So you're cool with everything, just not the hate comment.
Yeah, because I think it's like you make people a victim. Yo, maybe if you didn't push your son, maybe homeboy wouldn't have acted like that. And an 8-year-old man, number one, Mike, if he was there and Bron would have been like, yo, somebody just hey, nobody's gonna think it's a good look for a 30-something-year-old to be yelling at an 8-year-old. Ain't nobody gonna think that's cool. And you can make it about victimhood. You can do whatever you want. Most people will say, chill out on the little kid, find his parents, find out what really happened before you start calling people all kind of shit and saying whatever. Most people would say, get the whole story. You could defend your son. You could say, I don't want this type of shit happening to my son. They need to beef up security. You could say, that person right there is in the wrong. They're not you could find out later if they're a hater and do whatever. You could say, I wish he would do that shit to my son when he was paying attention, or have some attention, or have some time to give his ass some attention. I bet he wouldn't do it. But you don't got to start making, like, going to victimhood and making people and saying shit about people. Because I'm pretty sure that same kid, LeBron would give him an autograph and da-da-da-da. He wouldn't say he's a hater.
Do you not think that people hate on LeBron and Bronny James and their family in general? LeBron's been hated on since he came to the league.
No, people do. I'm saying that ain't. People do hate on him, of course.
But you didn't give me a chance to finish. What I'm saying is, I'm quite sure that they've been hearing the criticism, oh, yo, you just wanted your son to play on this super team. Oh, he ain't even that good to be on that team. And he don't even start. He only play 8 minutes a game. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You can classify all of that as hate. You can. You very well can. And
that's not that kid.
What I'm saying is, he's not saying, what he's saying is, when it's all bundled together, it all feels like hate. And when you're somebody like LeBron, who was loved all the time at Cleveland, and you go to Miami, you experience all that hate. And I'm not saying that that's what his son is going through. All I'm saying is, he himself has always experienced hate. I'm quite sure he and his son and the whole family and the whole Sierra Canyon team has heard the criticism and the hate that has come his son's way. And before he has a chance to know who threw the orange pill, why they threw it,
that's some hater shit.
That's all I'm saying.
And I'm saying that can be right and you can be wrong. The kid don't hate y'all. He loves you. He acted like a stupid fan.
And I'm speaking
he wasn't even hating.
The fact that you're saying he should have waited. No, I don't have to wait. If somebody does something to my son, if somebody does something to you, I'm not figuring out why they did it. No. I'm going to bat.
No,
I'm riding for mine. I don't have time to sit up here and figure out why somebody violated my people. I'm riding for mine. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying
and him calling somebody a hater isn't some flagrant or wild thing to do.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
you did say he should have waited. You did.
He should wait to call them a hater, because in any other world, LeBron James wouldn't call an 8-year-old fan of his a hater. He wouldn't. You could say, that's wrong, that kid's in the wrong, he's acting crazy, he's doing whatever. I'm saying the fact that you're starting to make it victimhood, like you're some kind of victim of all this.
That's some
fans do dumb shit, and you wouldn't call none of your fans doing dumb shit haters, because a lot of times, you know what they do? They do dumb shit in your honor. You don't call it hate then. You don't call it hate when they love you so much that they booing and cussing out the opposing team and throwing shit at them. Bron wouldn't have said that if they wouldn't have hit somebody else on another other team. He would have told them, they bigging up Sierra Canyon. It's the squad. It's the town.
I don't think he would have said that.
I don't think that he would have had to answer for it because his son wouldn't have got hit. Okay. But that's what I'm saying. In any other realm, you wouldn't call that person a hater. So yes, it's happening to you.
Bro, I make that argument with you all the time. I tell you, like, bro, if the shoe was on the other foot and it was happening to you, you'd be saying X, Y, Z. You'd be like, you're probably right. But we're speaking to this. So you can't go back and forth, bro.
No, bro.
That's some hater shit, fam.
It's not.
It is.
We differ there. Bruh, tell me in another world.
Does that not sound like a hater, Steph?
Mike, it sounds like a fan being crazy as fuck.